We're on.
Hi everybody, welcome to our live stream from GAMA 2017. We have a whole bunch of fun stuff for you, a whole slate of games and publishers for our final day here in Las Vegas. We've got the main desk here, we've got the question and answer desk over there, so be sure to, in the chat, get your questions in, and we'll see how many we can answer. But because we're cutting all this up eventually, I'm going to reintroduce ourselves right now. Hello and welcome back to Las Vegas for the Dice Towers coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017. I'm Eric Summerer here with Ed from Pencil First Games.
Howdy.
And we've got a few things to look at, but we want to start with what's here on the table.
Yes.
Which I'm guessing is called Fantastic Creatures.
You've guessed correctly.
Wow, I am a sleuth. What is Fantastic Creatures about?
Fantastic Creatures is a game about being wizards, or sort of druid-like wizards in a way, and you are all competing to sort of get the top spot in the land and demonstrate your prowess with all sorts of creatures. So you're going to be starting with 12 creatures. Everyone starts with the same deck of creatures. And you're going to be playing them over the course of a day to move up these different realm tracks. And so it's a competition, sort of like a dog sled race, where you're working your creatures down the tracks in each realm to get the furthest. And the player who's sort of accrued the most renown from moving across the tracks at the end of 3 days is the winner. And so the dynamic in Fantastic Creatures was designed by Christopher Ham, who designed Strife, is around how you select and place your creatures. So everyone has a deck. They have a player track and some pieces. I've slowed it down here, but you basically are going to shuffle your cards and you draw 4 into your hand, 4 creatures that is. And they have some key information. They have their magic power, what realm they're associated with. The Griffin here is in the wind realm, and then their ability. And some abilities are sort of more complex, some are just earning resources. And what the player is going to do is they look at their 4, and they're going to pick 1 to sort of go on a long-term expedition up here. That's based on their power, so you usually pick a higher power one to do that. You set this aside. And then you're going to take the other 3 and order them in front of you face down. Well, everyone else is doing that. And then we're all going to flip. So it's sort of like a programming game in that you flip, you see the initiative, except that this is much more of a magic ability sort of combination game where you're looking to combo the powers, move up the realms, earn gifts from being in the lead, and use that to just get farther than all the other players. And that's the basic way the game is played. There's some spells that you can use over the course of the day and amulets that get traded amongst players. But the real fun here is being able to sort of combo and use your different creatures as you go. There's also this vast expanse where it's not quite deck building, but you can sort of augment your deck as you go and then swap out creatures. So over the course of your game, you're going to have a different 12 creatures than all the other players do, based on whether or not you want to keep your original 12 or work in the Goblin or the Chimera or whatever you'd like.
The art design here is very distinctive. It reminds me of the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker game. Was that a influence?
Well, I like color. So color's an influence, and Wind Waker's fantastic. This is actually, the art for this game was art that was created actually a while ago in a vast world video game setting, and then we pulled it back towards doing it within this game design. So it has that quality to it, that Wind Waker-esque quality to it. I don't know if it was at the same time as Wind Waker, but Breath of the Wild is also quite fun.
So, when can we get our hands on Fantastic Creatures?
So this should be hitting Kickstarter in 3 or 4 months. And then from there it'll be about 9 months before it hits retail.
Great. Well, let's talk about the other 2 games you brought along. These appear to be finished and ready to go.
They are. I brought Heroes and Tricks and Herbaceous. Oops, that's right. Both of these are in retail now, and they were originally Kickstarters. Heroes and Tricks is a
neat box.
Neat box, yeah. It's a trick-taking game, but it's a little bit different because rather than a standard, typical trick-taking game, you have a lot less information and it's a lot more deduction. And some would say luck involved. Where as players, you're going to pull a hero from the back. Oop, that was an earlier one. Pull a hero from the back and move this to the front of the box. It's played within the box and you can play it on the go.
Oh, interesting.
So it's been great at this convention, playing with people and talking about it. But the first player has this hidden information. They know what the suit is, and they know what the color is. So it's basically color and suit trumping. And then, if I just you have your cards, you'll have a hand, depending on the number of players, it'll be different. But standard 1 to 8 in the different suits. It's all sort of gamey fantasy with the dice and the meeples and stuff like that. But you're trying to play against what you're seeing. So the best thing I could play here would be a green 8.
Okay.
But a green 8 card. But say I don't have a green 8, I might have a red card. So where is it? Say I have a 3 red.
Yep.
It's not green, but it's a card, so they're both cards.
Okay.
So I'll put this in, and then I pass it to you.
Okay, so all I see is the card you played. I can't see the initial card that you... Okay.
So it's sort of like telephone in a way, right? And so as you move it down, the information's getting worse. But you could still say, well, if he played a red card that's a 3, and I've got a 4, I know I'm going to be better than him no matter what it is, because I've beat out his card. There are also these gear cards you can use, which mix things up and reverse things and change things, let you see the card behind. So it's really a combination of understanding you don't have the information you need. If you can't handle not having information, this isn't the game for you. But as long as you can handle that, it's a lot of fun, and you can play it on the go and move around with it.
And herbaceous.
And so herbaceous, different feel.
I'm going to move the creatures out of the way a little bit.
Yeah,
so
sure. I can help you over here too. Herbaceous came out last month as well, and herbaceous is very pretty. As you can see here, these are all shuffled up, but herbaceous has the players planting and potting a bunch of herbs, and there are more of them, but I might miss a few. And what you're doing in this game is you have your private garden and a community garden. This was designed by Steve Finn. If you've played Biblios, the mechanicals feel familiar, but each player has 4 pots, and it's a set collection game, push your luck set collection game, where you have the deck, which I'm going to flip over quickly, and you're going to draw a card. Let me just move these out of the way for a moment. You're going to draw a card, and you have to decide, do I want to keep this card for me in my private garden only that I have access to, or am I going to put it in the community garden?
Okay.
Whatever I do, the next card has to do the opposite.
Ah.
So if I place it here,
then you're risking that this one
is mine. This
is better. Yeah.
Is better, or what I wanted is maybe better to see, or the opposite. So you don't draw both. You have to sort of look at one, decide bird in the hand versus the bush, and then make the placement. So as you play, these are going to be bigger, and say we have another player out here, just sort of move it along, and then at some point you're going to say, okay, I'm ready to use one of my pots. These can only happen once per game, and they are each a different set. So this is all the same. This is pairs, sort of a wild.
You decide when you're going to score this particular type of set.
Right, and the more it has, the better. So there's this push your luck pressure to say, should I score now, say in the one that wants all different? So I could take this 2 and the 5, which would be pretty good. But it's not 7, which would be the best. So
and
I
you're
might
claiming
say,
from the common garden as well.
And your own, right. Or I might say, you know what, I'm going to wait and decide, if I don't forget that,
but then these may be gone from the other player by the time. Interesting.
And so it's light, it plays in 20 minutes, you can explain it in 3, and it really is a game that welcomes all players.
Excellent. So herbaceous and Heroes and Tricks available now, and we'll see Fantastic Creatures on Kickstarter very soon.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you very much, Ed. Thank you for watching.
Thanks.
All right, now, if you can give me your mic.
I can do.
Hey everyone, good morning, and what a lovely morning it is. We are starting off today with Pencil First Game, so if you have questions, get them in so we can get them answered.
You may want to say hi again.
Oh.
We didn't have any.
No audio? Okay.
You had audio, they just didn't see you.
Didn't see me. Okay, now you can see me, so good morning. Got a little bow, happy today. You can see me now? I had to show this off, so I'm hoping you can see
Hey, Eric,
me.
we can clean that up and you can come over and answer questions.
Questions, get your questions in.
Always make sure that's in line so you don't.
You are going to sit right here,
All right.
and you get this fantabulous microphone.
Awesome.
All right, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy you're here. I played a lot of your games, so
Awesome.
I'm excited. So we do have a few questions from the internet, and I may throw in a few of my own questions.
Sure.
So the first one is Tricks and Heroes. So I know someone had asked about that, the trick-taking game. It's Tricks and Heroes. They want to know if it has a magnetic clasp, like how does the
That's
mechanism?
exactly. So I probably didn't show it. No, it's not. I don't know. Probably didn't
Busy in here.
show it on camera. But yeah, the magnet clasp, the top clasp in the front, and actually one of the most complicated parts of the box development was figuring out what would be the best strength for that magnet.
Right.
Because it wants to close, but you want it strong enough that it'll hold all the cards in, but not so strong that like opening it up constantly is a problem.
Well, this is it.
So it worked. We got the right magnet. I didn't know much about magnet power prior to making that box, but now I know a lot more about
Tested it.
Yeah.
I knew the answer, but I figured it's your game.
it.
You
Sure.
should answer.
I can answer the questions.
Okay, perfect. Now, when playing Tricks and Heroes, organizing the order of the cards. So after everyone's played, I know when we played our first round, I'm not exactly the terminology of those cards. They're kind of like modifiers.
Oh, the gear
The
cards.
gear
yeah.
cards. We had a ton of those come out. And it was really hard after to kind of organize to see, like, how do you kind of get around that or make it a bit easier to lay that out so we know what player played what?
Yeah. So once you've played, we typically just play it out. You splay the cards in a row and you resolve, or somebody shows them to everybody.
Right.
Since the game's constantly moving in a circle, you'll say, well, this is the player who started, and just work through the circle.
Okay.
But then when you leave it in the box, there's a number of dividers within the box, sort of like a deck box would have.
Right.
And you can sort of, like I typically keep them in 3 different sections, separated.
Okay,
when
I think that
start.
was our problem. I think we just kind of like lumped them together, so it was a lot harder to organize.
Yes, I mean, it's true that usually after you play a few rounds, or you're at a con having fun and playing it, and then you're like, you throw it all in the box because you want
Well,
to
this is it.
go see the movie. It doesn't hurt for somebody to like take a second afterwards and reorganize.
Reorganize.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're playing, good tips.
Yeah.
So I have a question from Otar. My apologies if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Does the overall game feel and pacing change a lot with a different number of players in Herbaceous?
You know, I think Herbaceous plays. So it's 1 to 4 players.
Right.
Playing by yourself is certainly its own feel to the rest, but
Exactly.
playing with 2, 3, 4 players, because so much of it has to do with the person you're playing,
Right.
and how risky they are, how much push, how impatient they are is probably a better way of saying
Yes.
it. I find, and then playing with them again and expecting them to be impatient, and that changes the dynamic the most. If you're playing with 4 people, you do have to say, well, I'm going to have to wait through 3 people before I get another chance. So certainly
Right.
that changes your risk meter in terms of saying, wow, I really want that mint.
Right.
I should go for it now. But I think it plays really well with all 1 through 4.
And I've played them actually,
Yeah.
but I haven't played solo, but I've played it with the other ones, and it was great. And I
Yeah.
thought it was really, I actually found 2, we were getting super competitive because we were waiting longer
Yeah.
to take what
You're
we
always
needed.
going to be a little bit more competitive when it's head-to-head. But
Right.
yeah, no, I agree. And you should try the solo mode. That was actually Keith did the design with Steve, and it actually has a third. You have a discard pile now, so you have 3 decisions, sort of like Biblios.
Right.
And it really works well.
So, yeah, one of my favorites. I really enjoy this one. So let's see if we have any other fun questions on here. I think, there we go. So talk to me a little bit more about hidden creatures. Just
Fantastic.
oh,
Creatures.
sorry, fantastic creatures, excuse me.
Sure. So it's been in development for some time, and it's this sense of going on an adventure with this big entourage or group of these fantastic creatures. They're all different. They all have different abilities. And I got familiar both with Steve and Chris through actually reviewing their games. And so I don't know if you've played or seen Strife, but
I have.
Strife has this just incredible dynamic between the different cards and which cards and how they work and how broadly it changes the game within the order of the cards. And that was really the basis of how we started playing with fantastic creatures, but trying to make it a little quicker and a little lighter and having some more elements. So it's sort of got that dynamic, but it's not as, like, Strife is super head-to-head cutthroat.
That's right.
Yeah.
That might not be for everyone.
Yeah, it's an aggressive game.
Well, thank you so much for answering all of our questions. Is there anything, if people have further questions, where can they get in contact with you?
I'm on Twitter at eBaraf and online pretty regularly. I'm an easier person to get in touch with. So if you just shoot me a message on any media, I'll usually get back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
So our audio is live. Hello, Internet. As soon as they're ready with the graphics, we'll
Gotcha.
Sam is frowning in consternation.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got a thumbs up. Okay.
Good frown.
Hello and welcome back to Las Vegas for our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017. I'm Eric Summerer here with Danny from Yellow Games. Hello, Danny. Now, you were telling me earlier that this is the title you're most excited about. It's called Arena for the Gods. Tell us about it.
So Arena is a fairly light game. It takes about 30 minutes to play. It's by the designer of Big Book of Madness, and
Oh.
the artist did Welcome to the Dungeon.
Okay.
So pretty powerful combo. The game plays over 2 phases. The first phase is an auction where we're trying to get our equipment that we're going to use in the arena. There's 4 types of cards. There's weapons, mounts, armor, and then spells.
Okay.
So the auction is going to happen in that specific order, right? They're numbered at the bottom.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen, we're going to deal out cards equal to the number of players, in this case 2.
Okay.
We'll reveal them, and we're going to bid with our life points. In the game, these will be red and not green King of Tokyo cubes.
These do look like King of Tokyo cubes. Yep. Okay. So we
So-
would have these 2 weapons.
Yes. So we're going to secretly choose cubes from behind our screen. We start with 20. So we're bidding our life before we go fight and lose more life.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're bidding for is first pick of those cards.
Okay.
Okay, so we'd blind bid, pick whatever cubes we want to bid, reveal.
Oh, we tied.
We tied, perfect. So if we tie, we have to agree who gets what card. So I'll say, I want the Cupid's bow.
Well, I really did want the Cupid's bow. What happens then?
So if we can't agree, we're going head to head arguing, then we shuffle the cards and deal
and
them
they just get dealt out. So fine, I'll take the Ankh.
Okay, Cupid's bow, awesome. So we do that for each card. We got
Yep.
our mounts, we got our shield, our armor, and then we got our spell.
Okay.
So weapons, obviously they deal with combat, fighting, losing damage, movement, pushing. Mounts typically deal with movement. Armor's defensive, and then spells are super powerful. They deal with all of them, so you can kind of specialize in something.
Okay. So now we've got our cards. What
Yep.
happens now?
We have 4 cards, one of each type, and then we move into the arena phase, the
arena.
combat.
Yes.
So the game ends as soon as one player loses all of their health.
Ooh, okay. And
So-
the health is what we've been bidding with. All right.
So if in the auction you got last pick of every card, that's not terrible because you still have a lot of health left.
yes.
So there's that pretty interesting balance.
Okay.
So one person is out of the game ends, whoever has the most health wins. Okay,
So how do we battle in the arena?
good question. So we have our guys, right? We're going to enter
Gotta
on the
see these.
side of the board.
This
Yeah.
guy looks intimidating. I like him.
There's 6 different characters, and they're all based off of different mythology. So you have the Aztec guy, I have
Okay.
the Norse lady.
Nice.
There's Hindu, Japanese, Roman, and one more I think I'm forgetting, but that's
and
okay.
the mystery god.
To
Okay.
be-
So we got our guys.
Yeah. Combat happens with your cards. So let me explain the mechanic. It's King of Tokyo. So you're gonna roll your dice. You can re-roll them up to 3 times.
Okay.
Simple. The die faces, we have the paws, the shield, the sword, and then starburst. You're going to use them to activate your cards, the matching die
Ah,
faces.
yes, because we
Okay.
got the symbols on the cards.
So you can activate the card as many times as you want, as long as you have the dice to do it.
Oh.
You also have generic actions you can take with pairs of dice. So 2 swords, you can make an adjacent hero take a damage. You can do movement, you can push someone, or you can make any hero lose damage.
So there are basic actions that you will always have, and we have drafted our special actions for the round
Yeah.
that we can activate.
So the cards that you pick, those are your only actions during the game. So pick wisely.
So there's one auction,
One
and
auction.
then one battle phase, and that's the game.
Yeah, so
Okay.
30 minutes, it's not very long.
All right.
So combat, there's various types of combat, right? If you're adjacent to someone, some cards will be activated. You share a common border. There's far away battles. So far
Distance
away
combat.
means you're just not adjacent, but you have to be within line of sight. So line of sight is a straight line.
And so these towers might break that line of sight?
Yeah, the pillars are really interesting. They break line of sight. If you're pushed into one, you'll lose health.
Ow, they're spiky. I don't know if you can tell
yeah.
that. They're spiky. Okay.
They also will change the board shape depending on which scenario you choose.
Okay.
So really exciting aspect of this game is all the scenarios you can choose from, but depending on player count and how long you want to play. it'll change the shape of the board. So say we have a 4-player game and we want it to be short and sweet. We're basically going to cut the board in half with these pillars. So you can't cross them. You are restricted to the tiny area where you have to fight each other.
How soon will we see Arena of the Gods? Arena for the Gods. Origins.
In June. Yeah, pretty soon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so what else? We've got a couple of little boxes that we wanted to talk about as well.
So these guys are arriving sooner. We're getting them at the end of the month. So the release date for brick and mortar stores is April 20th, and then for everywhere else it's May 4th. So pretty soon.
All right, and that's
Ninja Taizen. It's an S.
we're actually going to turn these over so that.
Oh yeah. Ninja Taizen.
Okay.
And then the new King of Tokyo power-up. So for King of Tokyo power-up, it's the same basic game as the old version, little purple box. It's got the panda, and it's got evolutions for each of the characters in the base game.
But this is for the new redesign 2.0 version of King of Tokyo.
Updated art to be more compatible with the new version, look more cohesive. It also, excitingly, comes with the evolutions for Cyber Bunny and the Kraken, which aren't in the new version of the game.
Oh.
So this is compatible with both the purple box and the new box with the 5 monsters.
Oh, that's neat. That's a good touch.
Yeah, we looked at the numbers and we're like, wow, so many people have King of Tokyo, but we did not make enough of Power Up.
Right.
So hopefully this will.
Good. So this
handle
pleases
players.
both groups. Wherever you enter it into the system, this will work with it. Very good.
Yep. Ninja Taizen is part of our mini games line. So our little white box is like, welcome to the dungeon. This one is a strictly 2-player game. You are enemy ninjas fighting. There's 2 ways to win, either by eliminating every other ninja.
Oh, nice art. I love. You guys are always so great with the art.
Well, usually we redo the art to be more French and beautiful and whatever. But this is the original Japanese art from the original designer.
It's woodcut style. Yeah.
So, so either eliminate all of your opponents or get your ninja from your village all the way to the enemy village. The complete game is longer. This is just a demo, right? So the basic mechanic, we have our ninjas set up like so. We have our Shogun, who is special, and I'll get to later, and then we'll splay out all of our cards like so. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. And mine will be splayed out
In a similar pyramid over here. Okay.
Yeah. So what you're going to do on your turn, you're going to roll all 3 dice. These determine what color ninja you can move and how many tiles. So you only have to activate 1 of your dice, but you can use up to all of them. So movement, super simple. You pick the corresponding color, so this guy, and move him 2 tiles. You have to move exactly the number shown.
Okay.
It gets interesting when you choose ninjas that have ninjas on top of them. So if I want to move this one, I take the whole stack, move it 1, 2.
That seems good.
However, there's movement restrictions. I can move only a maximum of 3 cards.
Okay.
So my Shogun is inaccessible at this time.
Until I move these guys out of the way.
So combat. Let's just use my own ninjas.
I thought it was just a happy walking game. Why are we fighting?
So combat is rock, paper, scissors. It's more interesting than it sounds. But the first thing you're going to look at is the type of ninja. So in this case, rock beats scissors. Simple. So this ninja would go away.
It is literally rock, paper, scissors. They're Japanese rocks and almost like tweezer shears, but yes, it is rock, paper, scissors.
We have a reminder here in case you forget how to play.
It's good, thank you.
It's surprisingly useful. I wouldn't have thought. So if you have the same type, it's the numbers, right? So this 3 is better than this 2. So this guy would go away. Paper covers rock, yada yada. So the Shogun is special.
Ooh.
He's a 4. He will take on whatever color he's battling. So right now he's a 4 green.
Okay.
So he's stronger than every other card, so he automatically wins. But when he wins, he's going to lose the strength of the ninja he defeated.
Oh.
So he'll go down to 4 minus 1 is 3, right? He's a 3 strength. That's super important when you're battling a whole stack of ninjas. So this guy, he beats a 3, he's down to 1.
Oh.
So then he'd lose to the 2 blue.
I see.
Okay.
And is that just a temporary thing? If you're like, if it was just a single battle, then he'd be back up to 4 for the next battle.
Yeah, a battle is on the tile. So this is another good point. If you're battling and you have the same card, like so, a 2 red versus a 2 red, you don't kill each other, but you do you retreat towards your respective village.
You force each other back.
If you are fighting on a village, this is my village, theirs is over there. He retreats, but I can't retreat because I'm already at my home base, so I die.
Oh no. That
Yeah.
seems sad.
It is sad, right? You're gonna.
But you have
lots
to get
little
all of your figures, your ninjas, over to the end.
Just one.
Just one.
Yep. You have to get it to the end and survive. So if I get my tiny little one green over here, and you have a stack of ninjas in your village,
Then they're doomed. She's
yeah.
just sitting there playing music. That's not going to work. She's
it's
sending
not very-
bees. She's got wasps. There, never mind. Well, she's fine. She's fine. Okay, so you said Ninja Taizen is expected
April 20th.
April, so very soon. Thank you very much, Danny.
No problem.
And thank you for watching. All right, I can pack all this up.
Oh, good job.
Because there's a handheld mic for the Q&A, and we'll scoop this up for you.
It doesn't have to be right.
Okay, so I don't even think I need to make an announcement here. You guys are I'm looking at the questions. They're fantastic. Keep them coming. Oh, you were so quick. So here you go. That's for you. So we're going to get right to it. You had some great questions in here.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Davey. Yes, I saw you, Davey. I saw those questions. We're going to get to a couple of them here. So for Arena, is this the final version?
What I was showing is a prototype. So the components, the graphics will look the same, but the quality is going to be a little bit higher. The green cubes, obviously, we yanked them from King of Tokyo.
Right.
So they're going to be red. But
I was
same
going to ask
choices.
about that. I'm like, I call them Energon cubes. Okay, but yes, I was going to ask about that. Okay, perfect. And miniatures or minis, are they going to have something to that effect in that type of game?
In Arena? No, it's still going to be the cutouts like we were using, just sturdier, not foam core.
Foam core.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So we threw in the mini question
You
for
could
you.
use minis. There's no reason you couldn't, but we have not designed any.
All right, so there you go. It's a project.
Yeah,
Project.
expansion.
Exactly. Okay, so perfect. So now we're going to go into, let's see. All right, actually, a lot of people are asking about King of Tokyo power-up.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have another question from Davey. Do the power-up expansion come with King of Tokyo of New York? For King of Tokyo of New York, any kind of bits
The
for
cross
that?
compatibility.
Right.
No, this power-up is not like King of New York power-up, where you could take your New York monsters into Tokyo.
Right.
We had to decide between making it compatible with both versions
Okay.
or making it cross-compatible.
Right.
And because there's so many players who didn't have power-up with the old version, like we didn't want to make them buy a whole new game
Right.
so they could play with it. So
Yeah.
eventually, it's still on the docket, having that Tokyo in New York cards, but
Okay.
not for this year, I think.
Okay. I actually bought all the power-ups. Maybe I'm alone in that. I thought they were great. Release date of Power Up King of Tokyo?
April 20th in brick and mortar. For online and mass market, it's May 4th.
May 4th. Okay, perfect. There's a lot of questions for you here. Do you have any info about a German version of King of New York Power Up? I see, maybe?
So we have our German branch. I don't communicate with them all
Okay,
that often.
so
I
it's a
work closer
separate-
with the French branch, so I don't know.
Okay, perfect. And I think, let's take a look here. Oh, so they're asking if just when you're talking if we can, yeah, I want to hear
Sorry.
all your fabulous answers. You're so quiet. I'm the loud one. Okay, let's see. I did see one here for you. It's all about miniatures. I think people really seem to be big in miniatures in games. So I don't know if this is something that you guys will launch
We
into.
have a game coming out this summer with miniatures, little tiny bunny minis for Bunny Kingdom.
So cute. I saw it. Love it.
They're pretty cute. But that's the only thing we have with minis coming up.
Okay, perfect. Let me just make sure I'm getting all the questions here. I think we answered all of them. So is there anything else that you'd like to add to some of the games coming up or something future?
I'd like to talk a little bit more about Arena.
Please.
So Arena is super exciting. It's my most excited game for the year. We're doing a pre-order promo program. So for every copy of the game that your retail store pre-orders, you get an exclusive promo, 1-to-1 ratio. So I definitely get your pre-orders in. It's going to be pretty awesome. All the promo cards we have planned, tongue-in-cheek, fun. There's also going to be a tournament kit for that, featuring a very exciting and popular movie character. I can't reveal him yet, but in the coming months we'll talk about him more.
It's good. Keeps people on
Yeah.
the edge of their seat and looking forward to what's coming.
At the end of the month, we're going to release a little teaser about Arena to get you pumped, excited to fight.
I think people are actually really pumped already. I can tell. What's the or if you can say the MSRP
For Arena?
for Arena? Yes.
It's $40, just like King of Tokyo. It comes with more stuff too.
Okay.
Arena also comes with different play modes. So there's 2-player, there's 2v2, 3v3, 3 teams of 2 versus each other,
Oh, interesting.
1 versus everyone.
Right.
So that one is actually pretty exciting. One player is the Titan, so they have, I think, 8 health per player. The other players only have 5. So they're trying to attack the big Titan, and the Titan's trying to squish all the little guys. So lots of replayability, lots
Right.
of different groups you can play with.
And that's the big thing for most people when they buy a game. They want to get the most out of it.
No solo variant, because that'd be kind of, I entered the arena and I won. Great.
Exactly. Think it's yourself.
Yeah.
So there is a 3-parter here, and I know they're going to kill me if I don't ask this question.
Okay.
How language dependent is the game? And and expansion. So we actually kind of touched on some of that already.
So Arena is fairly reliant on language. The cards all have text on them, and you need to know what they say to know your actions. There's some symbology, but it's not simple, right? It's not like heart plus sword equals bad. It's do this and attack adjacent to do this in order. So if we only have the English version here, there's going to be a French version. I don't know about any other languages for the moment, but yes, you should be speaking one of them to play the game.
Which is good. Speak
Yeah.
of. Someone, and this might mean more too, Mountains of Madness.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's coming out at Essen in October. So it's a fully cooperative, I call it a gamer experience,
Oh, okay.
because it's not a party game, right? There's strategy. It's just not quite as serious as a regular strategy game. So the premise is there's this mountain that's exuding waves of insanity, right? And we're all being affected by it. So each round there's an expedition leader, and they have to choose a location to go to on the mountain. To pass that location, you need resources. If you don't get enough resources or the correct ones, then you get an affliction, a madness status, basically.
Oh.
And that's going to change how you speak for the rest of the game, or for the rest of the round. So, like, Mandy could only speak until her name was spoken, or I can only talk in questions, so stuff like that. So we're all becoming madder and madder. Super fun.
That'd be
Yeah.
a hard game for me. I'm chatty.
Yeah.
All right, I think, okay. I'm going to throw this in here because I actually want to know this.
Okay.
Release date for Bunny Kingdom.
Yeah, definitely. Gen Con. I
Get
promise.
excited.
I promise. I know we announced it for last Gen Con, but this time it's happening. I'm getting the rules next week, and we have the bunnies, so it's happening.
Okay, perfect. Look for it. So to wrap up, is there anywhere that people can reach you if they have further questions? Or
Yeah. You can tweet us at Yellow Games, message us on Facebook, or my email is info@yellowgames.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm
problem.
excited. I got a little information for
Hey.
myself. So we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Eric, coming to you.
As soon as we get the thumbs up from the graphics department, we'll be able to go. Perfect. Hello and welcome back to Las Vegas for our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017. I'm Eric Summerer here with Daniel from Eagle-Gryphon Games. Hi, Daniel.
Hello.
And we're looking at an upcoming game from Eagle-Gryphon. And this is all prototype. This is early version components. Art is still being worked on. But the name, you figured out the name.
The Scarlet Pimpernel.
The Scarlet Pimpernel. Tell us about this one.
So Scarlet Pimpernel is from classic literature. He holds the historical recognition of being the first masked hero in all of history. So we wanted to tell that story. We picked up this game from Brian Kelly, and he did a really, really great job. This is going to be a lightweight Euro game. As the story goes, during the French Revolution, the French revolutionaries were killing the royalty, and the Scarlet Pimpernel's Sir Percy Blakeney was wanted to do something about that and save this royalty for better or worse, right?
Okay.
And so he devised a plan to have a trusted group of advisors and travel from England to France, Paris, Austria, to save these royals. And so you are actually in this game taking the role of these trusted advisors. And the beauty about this game is that it plays very much like a co-op until it doesn't.
Okay.
Yes. So throughout the game, you're trying to create a pathway, for instance, from one starting position to a following mission location. So you'll be placing cubes. The very basic action would be move your meeple or place a cube. That is a very simple starting action. As you place cubes, for instance, in these areas, which I'll explain in just a moment, you will actually add to your abilities to do very specialized actions instead of the basic action. Okay. So the way the rules go, you can place a cube in, for instance, anywhere where your meeple is. So let's say I'm the green player, I'll be able to place a meeple there or a cube there. And then you can also place a cube here, for instance, maybe a little more strategic, building that route. As you are playing the game, you're also going to be able to place cubes here. This is the rest location. That would be bank a move, so you can then use it later.
Okay.
You can also place a colonist. You can also place a horse, cart, riding, and masks. Okay. So what you're going for in placing all of these cubes, like I said, you have the pathway to the mission. You also have the required colonists for the mission. So there's 4. There's 3 horses required, 1 cart, 2 ridings, and 1 mask. So we need to do all of those things collectively in order for that mission to succeed. Okay. You can also place a cube in any one of these locations. What you're doing in placing a cube in those locations is progressing the end of the round, okay? But you're also claiming that that one is going to be successful. You know that you're going to get enough colonists.
All right.
Or you also are wanting to be in charge of which cubes come down, because that is going to be what determines your points.
All right.
Okay.
So if you have more than enough colonists,
right,
you would be deciding which colonists are going on the mission and therefore who's scoring points.
Exactly. So we only need 4 colonists, and now we have way too many.
There's a lot of
colonists. And if I happen to place here, there would be no red colonists going on this mission. Of course
not. Why would there be?
Why would there be? Exactly. Right. That is where this whole comes down to. It's cooperative. We want to complete the mission until it's not, when you're trying to end the mission. You could potentially fail a mission or portion of a mission. The way that works is, let's say we only got 1 horse. I've claimed that we are going to get as many horses as we need.
We needed
these are
3.
collectively, so the brown resources are collectively counted. So I need all of these to succeed in order for this one to succeed. If it doesn't succeed, what happens is I still get to pick which cubes come out. So let's just say this was a terrible round and we only got this 1 cube.
It's a terrible round.
I will pull this one down. I still get that choice, but then this goes down here and I do not get the points as it filters through to point totals.
Gotcha.
So the actual points are going to be the
So we've got like a flow chart here, and this is where you score points, but you bypass that. Do not pass go, do not collect.
Exactly.
Victory points.
Exactly. So this one is just take the first player marker. This one is signified by this guy here, which you'll also want to fill. Okay, so you'll want to fill all of these guys. What happens when you place a cube on an actual city is you just trigger that action, so you'll place a secondary cube here. Right, so this was the colonist action, and I get to place an extra cube there. Okay, so you can double up on cube placement. One variant I am definitely going to mention, because it's my favorite way to play, is this is Chevelin. He is the Chief of Public Safety, and he is pursuing the Scarlet Pimpernel and trying to find out who he is and trying to arrest him.
All right. It's always good to have a villain in a hero story.
Yes, exactly. So you can have a variant where if any of these fail, however many of these fails, Chevelin will jump from one location to the next. So let's say we're on, we'll say we're on the the third mission here, okay? Or we're headed to the third mission.
We're
right?
actually going to slide this up. We're talking about.
Oh, sorry.
We have such a large board. We have to keep sliding it up and down to make sure you
no
can
worries.
see everything.
So okay, so let's say we're trying to get from here to here. It fails by, we'll say, 3. Okay. So let's say this is the first time we've ever failed. He jumps 1, 2, and 3, and he catches the Scarlet Pimpernel because he has not succeeded in.
Oh no!
He's caught him. So
the game's over?
No.
Oh.
What's going to happen next is instead of pursuing the next round, we are going to actually have to rescue collectively. Again, going back to co-op, we're going to have to collectively rescue the Scarlet Pimpernel from the Temple prison. Shoblin returns to the House of Justice, and very thematic approach to the cat and mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, this game plays 1 to 6 players. It's
1 to 6.
There is a solo variant in place. You'll see that in the campaign, which is going to be, we're thinking August. August will be when it's ready to go. So we're working on this a lot. We have a lot of artwork that's going to be coming out in the following months, and we're really excited about this one.
End game is triggered on the final mission to Vienna?
Yes, the end game is always to Vienna. What happens actually is during the 6th mission, some players will come here early and start seeding their cubes in anticipation of the last mission, which is pretty fun to see.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's fun to see that happen.
Excellent. Daniel, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
The Scarlet Pimpernel, going on a campaign, you said, in August.
Yeah, that's our plan for August.
So we'll see more from this one very soon. Thank you for watching. All right. We will pack this up. We'll take your...
So we have Eagle-Gryphon games coming for Q&A. I hope you have some questions ready for us. I see a few coming in, so get them in. Hi, how are you? Good. Good. So here you go. You get the fabulous mic. Perfect. Okay. So I had the hardest time with this name, Scarlet Pimpernel.
Pimpernel.
Okay,
yes.
I said it right. Oh, so why that name? Out of curiosity.
It's from it's a classic literary story. He's the original masked hero.
Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to give tribute to that literary part of the story. So we picked it up from Brian Kelly, and he had it a really good design, and I think it's going to even get better with Ian O'Toole's artwork.
Okay,
Yeah.
see? So there you go. People who are wondering about the name, you have your answer.
Yes.
And the artwork, is it final?
No. What you saw on the camera
Okay.
is strictly prototype. Nothing of it is Ian O'Toole's yet.
Okay, because people were wondering about there because it's very basic. And
Yes,
then how does
absolutely.
it connect with the art in the actual game?
Yeah, the art is being 100% completely redone.
Okay, it's going to be done. Okay, so that's what we were worried about. I know I'm one for color in a
Yes.
game, and
Yes.
so I was like, oh,
No, yep.
gameplay's good.
It will be. Ian O'Toole's done the artwork for Lisboa and Vinos and Galar, so
Which
yeah,
are amazing.
Right, exactly. So have no fear.
Okay.
It will look nice.
Yes. That was important to me too. Okay, I did see a question up here from someone. Okay. Are you guys still planning to reprint Sid Saxon's Focus, aka Domination? And if so, when might it be released?
There is nothing on the books right now for Focus.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. And here we go. Scarlet Pimpernel in its current in its current state looks very much like a Euro game.
It is.
The story around it, however, it sounds more like a story-driven game. Is this more Euro, or what can we expect?
Why do I have to pick?
That is a good answer.
It really is. There is a storyline within the gameplay. You are helping Scarlet Pimpernel achieve these missions by collecting these resources, and that is the gameplay. Actually, is very Euro. There is a lot of cooperation, table talk, I guess, for what we should do,
Right.
but everyone has their ulterior motives to maybe end the round early so that their competitors do not succeed in their
Right.
portions of the mission.
Right.
So, it feels very story-driven as you look at the board, but the mechanics are very Euro.
And I find even seeing a lot of combination of different elements in games, which I think is great because then it appeals to a variety of people versus
Exactly.
just one group.
Exactly.
So I think that's a good thing. I also noticed you said it was up to 6 players,
Yes.
which is a high player count. Do you find that drags the game, or
Not at all. Everyone's always invested in how people are spending their turns because it greatly affects what they're going to do on their next turn.
Right.
Every you can have a plan on once you're ended your first turn, but on your second turn, the board's going to be different, and you might not have the same plan.
Yeah, so it always worries me that,
Right.
it tends to lengthen the time
Sure.
of the game, and it allows people to catch up, and it's like, no, you want to get that goal, you want to win. So
Right.
that was my concern with
It
the
doesn't
player
even
count.
increase the gameplay time because even though you might have less cubes to place during the round, you're going to have less cubes overall as you increase player count. So there's that. But you're also going to the rounds are actually just based on how many cubes are on the board anyway. So the gameplay takes the same amount of time no matter how many players.
Right, which is great, because
Yeah.
that's always a concern for a lot of people,
Right.
time-wise. So, very good. Okay. People are asking about that art. Okay, so this question, I know, it was the first thing I asked.
It's not final art. It is not final art.
Any question of a complete box of Fleet with all the goodies?
A complete box of Fleet. Well, I know that Ben and Matt are working on another prototype that will be. They're calling it Dicey Waters right now.
Okay.
Which is and that may be a 2018 campaign. We have 13 Kickstarters this year, so
Oh my goodness.
we are locked up.
We're busy.
Yes, we are very busy. And we are trying to reduce that next year, just as a sanity check, right? But we're really excited to see. I mean, I personally haven't played Dicey Waters, but
Right.
if there is a campaign, there is a great possibility that we would do something special for the fans
Okay.
in the
perfect.
campaign. Yeah.
That's actually a really pretty game, what I've
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
So talking about Kickstarter, some people have some other questions here.
Sure.
In relation to Island Hopper.
Island Hopper, yes.
Yes.
Island Hopper is currently in production. It will be. I think we're going to have it by. Oh man, I think June. June
Okay.
is our predicted date when it'll arrive from China. So we're just it's in production. We're making it.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. We're still working on it.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, let's see. Okay, so there's no questions here, but I have a question now.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm actually backing a few of these.
Okay.
Lisboa.
Lisboa.
Is up there, so that's coming
Same,
soon.
yes, that's the same time frame. We're getting all of these. There's a lot of games that we printed together, so they're all coming over at the same relative time. So we got a reprint of Gallerus, reprint of Vinos. Lisboa is coming.
So you're doing a reprint of Gallerus.
Yes, we are. We are doing that, and everything. June is a very special month for us right now.
I see that.
Yeah, we
It's
have
quite
a lot of products coming in.
Are they doing a lot of changes to Lisboa?
A lot
I've
of
played
changes.
it, as in like the way that the board was set up. Just for me playing it,
Right.
it is different than
Yes.
the Gallerist. I found
Yes.
the Gallerist was a very different play.
Yes.
Lisboa was hard for me to catch on.
Yeah. So
So-
the gameplay is intact. The artwork was basically final when you saw the.
When we saw
The only difference is going to be the improved components from the campaign. So like the meeples are all, what is it? The special shapes, the extra
Right.
cutting, right? So
Okay.
yeah, that's the improved components.
Improved components.
from what you played.
Okay. So
Right.
it was good, but it was a learning curve for me.
Yes. I mean, there's a learning curve with Vitalis Hurta's games, obviously.
Absolutely.
So, right.
Yeah. So just before we finish off, baseball highlights. Yes, I was gonna ask. Thanks for reminding me.
Baseball highlights. Spring training is now on Kickstarter. It is the introductory version of the baseball game by Mike Fitzgerald. If you already have the base game, you do not need the introductory game.
Okay.
But for the fans of the game who already own
Like own the fans, yeah.
own baseball highlights, we do have 3 expansion packs, and also we have King Yaz promo. We have the 7-card promotion pack. We're also there's going to be a surprise released during the campaign.
Ooh.
So if you're on the fence, back for $1 now and then.
Yeah, and see what happens
Wait for
later.
the surprise, because there's going to be some good stuff coming out during the campaign itself.
So you guys heard that. Lots of good stuff. Thank you so much for showing us that.
For
the
sure.
Scarlet Pimpernel.
Scarlet
I don't know
Pimpernel.
why I have such difficulty with this name. That's awesome. Anything else you'd like to add where we can reach you if people have further comments?
Really briefly, I'm just going to say that we have the relaunch of Skyways coming out after this. So in May, we're going to do relaunch of Skyways, and then Titan Dice and Vigilante. So those three games are in between Scarlet Pimpernel. So you will see Scarlet Pimpernel in August, but in between them, we have a lot more campaigns as well. So I just want to throw a shout out to those games there.
Perfect. Enough to entice you.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. And where can we reach you if you have questions?
You can reach us. We're on all social media, so anything with Eagle-Gryphon on it. So Facebook.com/Eagle-Gryphon or Twitter.com/Eagle-Gryphon.
Okay. So basically, any of the social media outlets.
Yeah, check us out on any social media, and we'll find us out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for showing that to us, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
All right, we're just gonna wait a minute till they give me the okay. Perfect. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. Got your coffee yet? Working on an energy drink. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017. I'm Z Garcia. I'm here with Deacon from Cryptozoic.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Doing great.
All right, and we are going to be taking a look at plenty of 3D goodies here.
Yeah, you won't need the top down as much for this one.
There you go. Well, so we're going to stay on this view. So where do you want to start here?
All right, let's start with Attack on Titan: The Last Stand.
Okay,
So
right
this
here.
is Ludwig Melblanc and Anton Bauza's game that we've been publishing with Don't Panic Games. Mm-hmm. We're bringing it to the U.S. They're doing it in France and everything around the Europe Union. And it is a one-verse mini game with dice mitigation and dice rolling. So when you think of a dice rolling game, such as King of Tokyo, which you just had on, what do you think about re-rolling? You have a couple times that you get to re-roll and then you're locked. What's interesting about this game is you get to re-roll as many times as you want.
Okay.
So at the beginning of the round, the hero players, which we have right now on our tower, get to roll wherever they are as many times as they want. However, on one side of the dice is a Titan face.
Okay.
And that locks the die, and it becomes a resource for the Titan player.
Ah,
So every time that you get one of these face up,
you're helping me.
Yes, exactly. And it becomes that one versus many mechanic. So if there is, it self-balances. So if you're playing with 4 people against 1, he gets a lot more resources. If he doesn't, if you're just playing 2v1, he gets a lot less, so he has to be a lot more careful about how he uses them.
Okay.
There are 4 Titans in the box. They all look like this, but there are 4 large, oversized cards.
Okay.
We're showing the basic right now. But if you look, there's 2 to devour one of the citizens on the ground.
Okay.
3 to regenerate your health, because Titans always are regenerating.
Okay.
And then there's 1 to crush a hero, because each hero has 3 health points.
Gotcha.
And if all the cannons on the tower, all the citizens on the ground, or 1 hero is killed, the game is over and the Titan wins.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's a lot of paths to victory for the Titan.
Okay.
For the heroes, it's a lot harder. They have to get the Titan into the kill zone itself by hurting him, and then they have to have a tactic card, and there are 2 tactics cards in this stack that have a kill zone requirement that allows them to get victory.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
in this case, you'd have to have a hero on level 5, a hero on level 8, and those heroes would need to have 2 swords on level 8, 2 cannons on level 5 for that character alone.
Right.
There's no sharing of dice.
Okay.
And you have to be in the kill zone, and then you get victory.
Gotcha. So if you got all the requirements on the same turn at the same time,
correct,
you brought down the Titan. Okay.
Correct. And one of the sides of your dice is also a tactics tile, which allows you to move through one at a time.
Oh,
so this
gotcha.
doesn't shuffle during the game, so you get an idea of what your tactics are as you are building your dice. So you're like, okay, if I remember, after we get him to the kill zone, this one gets him automatically to the kill zone. I know that we're about 3 or 4 away from the kill shot. So let's try to do this, and then if you have a lot of tactics next turn, we can go through it real quick and get back to that kill zone.
Gotcha.
And
So
take him down.
Is there a single one of these that is the one that gives you a victory?
There's
that
2.
gives heroes a victory? Okay.
So there's the next slash. Next slash is 1,
And
and
this
then eradication.
Gotcha. And the rest, how do they help the heroes?
This is everything is right there, easy to read on the top. So this one heals. Each hero recovers 1.
Okay. And these are still requirements
correct.
for that. Okay.
And if you notice, there are color codes on here too. So if you look at the spaces on the Titan, there's brown spaces. The tower has gray spaces, and then the higher spots are all blue.
Yep.
Sky.
Right, right.
So it's very easy to color track where you're going. And one of the dice is also movement. And if you can count, you can move around this board. It looks like it's complex, but each level has a number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So basically, I jump from right here to the 3.
5 to 4.
5 to 4, right.
3, yeah.
Okay.
Up, down, up, down. And they're all on that level too, so it's visually easy to see too.
Very cool. So, I mean, this is very free form as well. You just put this on the table anywhere you want.
Done.
Okay.
Now, we've been talking about heroes a lot. We haven't been talking about the Titan.
Let's talk about some Titans.
So, the Titan we talked about they get the resources and they can do one of the things on their turn, so it's a back and forth. However, they also have their own tactics.
Okay.
They have a deck of 7 that they have full access to at all times.
Okay.
The only reasons that you can't use any other cards is it was used the previous turn, so each cards have a cooldown period.
Okay.
However, these cards are crazy attacks that might knock everyone down to the ground level, then combo with hurting them on the ground level.
Ooh,
and
okay.
on every time the Titan gets to do this on the round, they get to play one face up and one face down.
Gotcha.
So you might think, I don't need to worry about that. I'm not on ground 0. Oh,
Now
I
you are.
am.
Right. So these are gonna. So they'll always play 2, and they will both go off.
Yes.
Just we know the good guys will know half the information only. Got it.
And if you notice, it only activates for if your hero is in the brown zone, the green zone, or whatever the case may be. So it's very visually appealing, so you can figure it out quickly.
Well, it also says what it does. doesn't
Exactly.
it? So you're covered there either way.
Yeah. So if you have your people that need the iconography, it's there. If
Okay.
you need the people that need to read and do the full rules lawyering, it's there too.
Okay.
But you also have the chance to dodge. So there are spots on each dice that are dodge.
Okay.
So if you are in this brown spot, you might be able to have those dodges ready to go so that when they're attacking, you can get out of the way.
Okay.
So it's not just Titans win.
Interesting. About how long is the gameplay for this?
45. About an
45
hour
minutes?
maybe.
Okay.
Depending
What's the player count? I know it's 1 versus the rest of
It's
them.
2 to 5.
So even one versus the one other player that
Correct.
works as well, and all
Yep.
the way up to 4 heroes, 1 type.
Yep.
Okay, cool. When is this going to be available?
This one's going to be coming out May or June.
May or June, and the MSRP on it?
40.
40.
Yeah, so all these nice etched dice. There's 20 etched
The
dice.
dice are very nice. They're
Yeah.
really cool. They're nice and chunky. They're large dice. They are very clear and edged. Yeah.
And these
are great.
Titan minis are part of the game as well. Oh, sorry, the
Little
cannon
cannons, yeah, very cool. Now, all of these things, especially these here, the ones that represent the building, can they be built and put back into the box and be kept built?
You can't keep them built, but they come apart and come together really easily.
Okay.
So as we are starting to work on our giant killer robot, you can see I'm already putting it back together.
Okay.
So it's very easy to put back together, and it all fits in the box, and it has a vacuum form tray.
Okay, cool.
So it's really easy to do.
Excellent.
Done.
All right, so let's go to that one then. I'm going to move this Titan
A little bit out of the way.
over there before he starts to eat people.
Mikasa's up there on 8. All right.
All right, cool. And now these are looking really cool,
All right.
those mechs.
So have you been following the Kickstarter at all for this one?
I myself have not.
All right, so it is on Kickstarter right now for another week.
Okay.
But seeing as GAMA, there's a lot of cool retailer support as well coming with this.
Okay.
They're working on League Play as well. And when I say they, we're working on this with Weta Workshop.
Okay.
So are you aware of Weta Workshop at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys out there are not, which I'm certain that you are, they're the guys who are a huge physical and virtual special effects house for Hollywood. And they are working on right now Ghost in the Shell. And with that, they are also, I got everything, my corner over here.
You bringing out more?
No,
or
just putting it
everything
all
away?
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is a skirmish game. And we're working on it. So they're doing the design, they're doing a lot of the fulfillment and everything like that. But we've been helping them with Kickstarters because they've never run a Kickstarter before.
Okay.
And we're helping with game design because they wanted to make sure that someone who's actually designed games help design their game.
Sounds good.
So they've been doing a lot of playtesting with our rule set, growing it. They've been running around New Zealand and everywhere in the hobbit holes and making this game perfect. But it is a expandable card game where your deck is your mech.
Okay.
You're trying to hurt the other mech by moving around this huge cityscape.
Okay.
If you destroy the other mech, you win. And by destroying the mech, you are actually destroying cards that no longer come back into the game.
Gotcha.
So there's a whole destruction mechanic on here.
Gotcha.
You also have an energy counter on your area as well.
Okay.
Which you can overclock your engine, which damages your mech itself, and helps you do a little bit more in your turn, but it will destroy your deck as well.
So you got to go easy on that.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're always
Let me
welcome to.
Just show some of these cards here to the camera. These are very, it almost looks like cel-shaded artwork. I don't think it quite is, but it's got a great, almost comic book action style look to everything.
Correct, and they're building the world as well. So it comes with a comic book as well.
So this is basically a new IP.
Correct.
This is a brand new
100%.
concept. Okay, very cool. And you said it was a miniatures skirmish game. Will it be a free-form miniatures where you are measuring all of that stuff?
No, it has a hex board. I just didn't have the space to bring that over here.
Okay.
So these buildings are set up on the hex board, so you can see everything has a hex area. And those are not only blocking, but they are one of the win conditions as well. If you bring your mechs over, the heavy hitters is what they're called, you can tag them with your virtual advertising, because it's all about a big corporate blood bowl. So think about NASCAR as mechs.
Okay.
And you're trying to tag these buildings with your sponsor's advertising. And if you tag 4 of the buildings, you also win.
So that's what these are up here. All right, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, are these anywhere near final? Are these prototype pieces?
This is near final.
Okay. And these are going to come exactly this way. They're going to have that same look. This mech will come painted just like it is right now. All of that. Okay.
And these are cardboard. They pop out. And
then the smaller ones over here, are these, will this be final as well? Will they look this way?
Just about, yeah. They'll be made out. Now, this is resin instead of a plastic, but they will be looking in that. They will look like that, yes.
And are these like support for the heavy hitters?
So you have 5 parts of your turn: deploy, move, attack, tag the buildings, and then reset. And these you deploy. So that's a combat drone. There's a repair drone and a recon drone that help with spotting around buildings.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and these, I mean, these look really fantastic. There's just a ton of creativity here, and I love that that futuristic mech. But they look somewhere between sleek and not clunky, but like really heavy, you know. So it's a great looking product here. When is this going to be available?
The Kickstarter is saying December 2017. A lot of that's going to be in Weta Workshop's hands to make sure it happens, and I believe it will.
Okay.
But in the end, it's going to be fantastic, and then retail will be shortly thereafter.
And once all the Kickstarter backers have it, and we want to get it at the store, how much are we looking at to get into?
They haven't let us know yet.
Okay, so
right now it's $99 on Kickstarter. And that gives you 4 factions. So I'm only showing 2 today, but it gives you 4 factions. So 4 heavy hitters and 3 support drones for each, and we just started unlocking other miniatures to add to it as well.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, cool.
Looks fun, yeah. And then we're quickly going to cover that over there. If you want to just tell us what you've got over there.
So I know that I don't have much time. I wanted to show you that we have Anatomy Park here today, which is the next Rick and Morty game.
Okay.
It's a much deeper strategy game. It's a tile laying game where you are moving around the park as you build it. Have you watched the episode of Anatomy Park?
Yes.
So it is based off of that. You're building a park inside Reuben, the homeless Santa from a mall. And you are doing so by building this. Now, this is an adult game. I won't be showing too many tiles because I don't know who's watching.
Let's stick with the back of the tiles then.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do some curating on the fly. That's okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do it so we have lower abdomen land.
Lower abdomen land. Sure.
Everyone has a food court.
Yeah, the Daily Krill. I'm just hoping to come across one where I can go like, oh no. that one.
Not doing that one?
Oh no. That one's not getting shown. Hey, the Hemoglobin River Run. That sounds fun. Blood rafting. Yay. Okay, so you said this one's a lot more strategic than the ones that have come before it.
Correct. It's not the other two.
Tile laying, a little more going on in this one.
Correct.
Okay.
So you move around as Rick, Morty, and the other characters from the episode. So Dr. Xenon Bloom's there as well.
Okay.
Move around, and you can place tiles next to where your standee is. You can also move tiles that have already been placed because it's designed by committee.
Okay.
So once tiles are placed, that doesn't mean they're locked.
Okay.
You can only slide them. So if they're physically locked, they can't move. But if they're on the edges of the boards, you can move them around. And whenever that happens, a bodily reaction happens because you're messing with the guts of a guy. So he's going to do something like burp.
Okay.
And you must act that out when that happens or lose victory points as well.
Oh boy, here we go. So there you go. You have a burping card.
But as that happens, you can also get diseases that show up too. So you got hepatitis A that shows up as well.
Wow, that's angry looking hepatitis there. Okay.
And those move around and impact your tile drawing and tile retention.
Okay. So a little bit of silliness in there still with the acting out of everything.
Have to.
But some decent strategy with the tile laying.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Is that available now? Is that going to be available soon?
This one's going to be available near Gen Con.
Okay, Gen Con. Yeah. And what's the MSRP on
this
that?
This one's
$30. $30. Very cool. Okay, I'm going to put the hemoglobin river run back in there. Thanks very much for chatting with me.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to see you real soon. All right, cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, you got it. We're going to send you over there for the
good.
Q&A. Let me get that mic off of you before you jet.
All right.
I'm sure they're going to want to take a look at those mechs too.
Yeah, so I'm going to
bring the GKRs over. Come on. Oh no, not the Titan. It's so scary.
Titan that I'm going to bring over real quick. And we can talk about that. I'm going to bring over mechs real quick.
Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody. We're getting set up to talk with Deacon from Cryptozoic over here. He's bringing some components over because we know that you're probably going to want to take a slightly closer look at some of these amazing components. So give us 1 sec. Certainly, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the comments on YouTube, and I will do my best to get to them. Ooh. You got it? Oh my gosh. I'm so nervous you're going to drop it.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Slap this on.
All right.
But I've been practicing all morning. I've been walking around the hall all day, making sure that
I know you've
I've
got
my
this down.
waders down.
You're like the etiquette coaches that make you wear books on your head. You just carry GKR on a platform. And we're
this is
gonna
the only one we got, and it came from New Zealand. So it's a handmade mock-up. It's very close. They're using. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, I took my microphone off. So
no, this is perfect.
Yeah, I just forgot that I don't have it on me anymore. So this is the demo kit version. So Man vs. Meeple has seen this. Undead Viking got a copy of this as well. So it is one of like 10.
Can I touch it?
Please.
Can I touch it?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. So folks, obviously, it almost seems thematic this year that bigger is better when it comes to minis. We're seeing all of these games coming out with these giant components, and I can't even tell you. I don't have gigantic hands, but this thing is huge.
And I do have gigantic hands, so we can take
There we go. Oh, you do have gigantic hands. Rah! The detail is stunning, and I know that this is really the level of detail that they are going to put on these giant mechs.
Correct.
But I want to point out, and I'm sure it came out there, but for anybody who kind of joined late, they also have the support bots that are coming out, and they are all unique sculpts, which you've got to love as far as, thematic and stuff like that as well,
Correct.
too.
And hold that one up again real quick.
Yes, sir.
One thing that's really interesting about the unique sculpts, these are both the repair droids, and you can tell that they're all the same repair droids because of the number of feet. So every support has the same number of feet for that class.
It's clever.
So it's easy to tell. So all of the recon units are all flying, so you can see that they're all flying.
Uh-huh. Oh, they are? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
okay.
there's our other flying one. Even though they have different modes of transportation, this is the jetpack that has hover jets. You can tell that they're all recons. And then when you go to the combats, they'll have 4 legs, or in Thunder Happy's faction, wheels.
Yep. Yeah, that's
and also
great.
huge weapons. So it's pretty easy to tell.
The bigger the better when it comes to this kind of thing. And just one quick question that came up in the chat, I think from Jason out there. Any assembly on these units, or will they come pre-assembled?
Okay, so the mechs themselves in the Kickstarter right now are, the heavy hitters are fully painted.
Okay.
And fully assembled. There is a painter's edition where you can get the heavy hitters unassembled and paint your own copy as well.
But that's really for the hobbyists that love painting and assembling and kind of customizing their own. Okay.
Exactly. But no matter what level you back at, you get a 4 heavy hitters, not just the 2 that you see here. 4 heavy hitters in the King Wolf, Thunder Happy, Diamondback, and Hammer Strike factions, and they are fully painted and fully assembled.
Yeah, gotcha. And I think in the YouTube chat, I'm personally going with Maxiture instead of Bigature, but you do what you want to do. But I like Maxiture and Miniature, but
I like that. I might have to tell Weta Workshop guys Bigatures.
There we go. Right, and it's so
or
cool.
Maxitures.
I really love the story that Weta's just they're gamers.
Yeah.
And they love games.
Yeah.
And this is where it's coming from. That's awesome.
We've been working with them for a year and a half on this project, and they worked around. They actually did a whole drive around the U.S. Leading up to Gen Con last year, going to local retail stores, taking what we had designed and taking comments from people and growing the game. So they play tested it across a road trip and really grew the game.
Nice. Very cool. You also brought Attack on Titan, and one quick question that came up was, Will there be other Titans in the game?
In the base box, there's only the one standee. That doesn't mean that in the future we might do other expansions along those lines. The Titans, there are 4 cards, however, that are the basic, destructive, deviant, and voracious Titans.
Okay.
The Armored Titan, Colossal Titan, Female Titan that are iconic are not part of the game yet, but if this does well, we haven't launched it yet, we want to do more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of plans in the works, but for the base box, which is only $40.
Correct.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, that thing is impressive.
And another thing that we're trying to do is avoid spoilers. So we wanted to make a game that people that Attack on Titan fans really love, but if they wanted to introduce their Attack on Titan illiterate fans to, they aren't saying, oh, but this is all happened season 2. We shouldn't talk about this yet or anything like that. So we wanted to make a game that was a strong game that people could introduce both as a game to friends and as a people that hadn't played Attack on Titan as well without hurting it.
And then I want to ask one final question about something that you didn't bring. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. But we had a number of people asking about Train Heist.
Train Heist, that's wonderful. So Train Heist was a success story on Kickstarter in 2015. A guy named Sean McDonald did a Kickstarter in Canada, and it got about 35,000 Canadian. He printed 1,000. He broke even and did well enough to get his backers everything they needed, but didn't have enough to make the game go into retail. He had enough to supply his local friendly game store with it, and they couldn't keep it on the shelf.
Yeah.
So that local friendly game store reached out to us and said, you guys might want to look at this. We've been testing it for the last 6 months, and it's fantastic. So is there any questions directly about the gameplay itself? Or
I think they're wondering if they can get it.
Absolutely, we will be able to get it. That will be coming out this summer.
There you go. This summer.
This summer. Yeah. We have the first test copy of that in my booth. If I didn't have the mic, or if I had someone else here to help me, I'd say, hey, go run and get that right now. I'd pick up the box. We have it here.
Okay, great. Yeah. So your patience will be rewarded.
100%.
And we will make sure to share some photos on, through social media channels as well. Deacon, if anybody wants to ask any other questions or get a hold of you, because, as we're wrapping up the Q&A here, what's the best place for them to talk to Cryptozoic?
Twitter at Cryptozoic, wherever Facebook /Cryptozoic. We monitor that all the time. Press at cryptozoic.com as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for watching with Cryptozoic. We're going to move back over as we get set up for the next publisher. Bye.
Thank you.
Great. Ooh, just insane. I love it so much.
Okay, whenever you guys are ready, let us know. Yeah, we're good? Hmm? Oh my goodness. All right, Ross, you ready?
I'm ready.
We're about to go.
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Don't even worry about it. Just ignore all these guys and their tomfoolery.
Oh. 5-0?
5-5.
5-5.
Run it. Go.
Okay. Hey everybody, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017. I'm Z Garcia. I'm here with Ross from Lion Rampant.
Correct.
And you're going to be showing us, how do I pronounce this? Mea culpa?
That sounds like a very good ancient
Or
Latin.
That sounded, that sounded classy, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, indeed. I just call it mea culpa, but you had a very good accent.
Mea culpa.
Yeah,
that sounds good. Yeah. Great. So, what kind of game is this? Tell me a little bit about what the setting here is. What's going on in it?
Well, I think it's a very unique game because it's centered around the bad times in the church in the medieval ages, where the church would be selling letters of indulgence to let you basically do whatever you want and get into the pearly gates. So the designers of this game first had the idea of the theme and spent a lot of time trying to find mechanics that would support the theme. Yeah. So some people look at it and go, holy smokes, there's way too much going on in this game, too many different mechanics. But I think they've blended them well to actually support that theme.
Cool.
So the game is basically played continually until 2 of the 3 cathedrals are finished. Once the two of the 3 cathedrals are finished, everybody breaks out their letters of indulgence and does the final round of scoring.
And these are the 3 cathedrals here?
Yeah, 3 cathedrals here.
Okay, so 2 of those 3. Oh, nice.
Yeah, two of the 3 here. So if we ended like that, we'd pull out our letters of indulgence, which is basically a set collection part of the game. So you're doing an awful lot of mechanics going on in the game, some bidding, some market manipulation, some hidden action cards, basically chance taking in the House of Pleasure. And they will let you accumulate the letters of indulgence as the game goes on. But as you're visiting the House of Pleasure and doing certain things that maybe are not very nice,
reputable
is a good term. Yeah, your pawn is marching towards the fires of Dante's Inferno.
Oh, I see. Very cool. Oh, I hadn't even noticed that effect.
Yeah,
and then on this side, pearly gates up there.
The pearly. Yeah.
Very cool. Very subtle. Nice.
The artwork is I think amazing.
It is very nice. It's really cool.
On this,
So are you trying in the game then to make your way up this track and avoid this one, or not necessarily?
You seesaw back and forth depending on on your behavior. So you notice everybody starts at 0 here, and then different actions during your turn will push you in this direction, and then you don't want to be pushed too far in that direction strategically wise, because that if you go too far, you're not going to have enough letters of indulgence to pull you back around past 0 and head towards towards the pearly gates.
Gotcha. So this is basically giving you more in-game power, but you better have those cards to back it up later on to get you back where you need to be.
Yeah, you better.
So it's sort of a risk-taking mechanism a little bit. You're sort of doing a lot now and hoping you've got enough letters later on to make up for that.
Yeah, exactly. As you're continually pushing your luck during the game, or pushing your sin level, or etc. You're headed towards the fires. But things can pull you back. So you can play it 2 different ways. You can kind of play very aggressively. Hoping to collect letters of indulgence and push yourself all the way into the fires and then pull it out at the end. Or you can kind of sit in the middle, hoping that you'll get just enough and sit in a neutral position to push you towards the pearly gates. So there's very many different ways of trying this game. So I think
it seems like there's a lot of different places you can sort of go to out here and take actions in. You've explained that this is the end game mechanism. And this is the House of Pleasure over here, which let me flip over a couple of these cards and take a look at what's going on here. Are these basically scoring mechanisms that I'm seeing here?
Yeah, basically, once you've flipped over this card, you get the benefit of moving your pawn in a certain direction. But you'll notice a +2 on your etching post here, and this is the bidding mechanism. So we use this at the beginning of the turn to bid on the identities of turn order. So the Pope, the Emperor, etc. It's good to be the Pope and go first, but it might be better to be the Emperor and decide which cathedral is being built.
Gotcha.
But if you flipped over that card, you notice +2 on the etching post. Every benefit comes with 2 sins. So now at the end of the game turn, we compare the highest sinning player to the lowest sinning player. And then the mechanism kicks in that will send one of us towards hell.
Gotcha. Is it the difference between the 2 then that gets pushed up?
Yeah, difference between the 2 gets us pushed up. And
so what's going on over here then?
This is where certain people's sins get measured. You can become a secret pope, living in the den, etc. I won't go into too much on this area over here.
Okay, cool.
This is the market area here, where you're buying goods, buying bread, wine, gems. The individual turns of the game, and once the last good is bought in the market, then we would reset bidding, reset the rolls, reset the turn order, etc. And the reason you wanted to buy these market pieces, the bread, etc., is to build the cathedral.
Okay.
There's also a hidden part of the game the whole way during it. So when I'm buying these, I can hide them in my little tray here for building.
Gotcha.
So nobody is quite sure if I'm going to be helping to build the cathedral or I'm not, because when we're buying parts from the market,
you just hide them right in there.
We've got a screen, we're hiding them in there, and then it's a reveal of what's actually going on.
Very cool. About how long is the gameplay in this?
Your first game is probably going to take you a solid 2 hours to go through, but thereafter you can get it down to about an hour and a half.
Okay, well, it certainly seems like there's a lot, like you said, of mechanisms going on in it, plenty to dig into, and like you said, the theme was first, and I think I can pick up on that, because everything does seem very well tied to that idea, and the graphic design. You're right. This is fantastic. The more I look at the board, the more I like it. It's got that world sphere with the sun, the moon, and then the 2 tracks. It's really interestingly laid out. It's got a great look to it.
Yeah, I think it really draws you in as you're playing it, and you're getting a thematic experience.
It's a good-looking game. So, when is this going to be available?
We released this game at New York Toy Fair.
Okay, so just recently?
And this is the second show we're displaying it at now. It's available for immediate shipping if any
So it's
shop
available
wants it.
now, and the MSRP on it, you told me, was 55.
Yeah, 55
So,
MSRP.
55 for that. How do you say it again?
Well, I'm going to say mea culpa, but I like the way you said it.
I don't know. I like the way you said it. Mea culpa it is, I think. We're just going to go back and forth and say it the way the other one said it. Very cool. Good talking to you. I appreciate you coming by and giving us a look at this.
No,
Very
thank
cool.
you. You're welcome.
And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to see you real soon. All right.
Thanks for helping me through that.
Hi. I need more coffee. All right, everybody, if you have any questions for Lion Rampant, please drop them in the comments and we'll try to get them answered. We're going to have a quick Q&A here, and I'll make sure to find out where you can get more information, okay? Yeah, you want to grab a couple of those boxes, and the dial bitting? Okay, great. Welcome, welcome. Hi, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We are live here with our YouTube audience, and just a couple questions. Sure. First of all, one of the questions was about the components that we are seeing and the board and all of these, the dial and everything. Are these final or prototype?
This is final.
Great.
Yeah, this is.
These are all final, and so these cool little spinny dials that you get to bid.
Yeah, everybody wants to roll them, but they're not rolling. It's a bidding. Yeah.
Yep.
Originally, when you grab it, everybody has a propensity to want to roll it, but it's not. It's a bidding mechanism.
And then we have really chunky, nice wood bits and pawns, so that's all part of it.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to show off this box a little bit more. So this is the thing where you're kind of being secret, and it actually is a sliding little chambered box that you get, and every player gets one of these, and they can put their cubes in there and determine if they can help build
or hinder.
Which certainly nobody would ever do that. That would be awful. That would be terrible. If people want to find out more about Mea Culpa or about Lion Rampant, where can they get a hold of you?
They can check out our website, www.lionrampant.com, or they can come over to our booth. We're pretty much right smack in the middle of the hall.
And is there other social media channels like Facebook or thing? Because a lot of our viewers aren't able to attend GAMA, and so sometimes they like to follow up on email or things like that.
Yeah, we have an active Facebook fan page and Twitter, and I think they're using that Instagram.
That Instagram thingy? Yeah, whatever. The kids that they're doing these days. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time with us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
And have a great show.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching. We're getting set up for the next round, so we'll see you over there in a second. Bye.
Hey, Z, coming to you.
What the game is, the texture is really good.
Cool. So I'm introducing you as indie boards and cards?
Yep. Okay. / action phase games. We still do action phase games puts out as many games as indie boards and cards.
Okay.
We're just like a studio. If that's okay with you.
That's fine with me, bro. All right, are we over here? Are we ready to go? You almost ready?
Yeah.
Here, give me the box. And everything can face us, by the way. So whenever you put something on the table, Travis, It can face us.
Oh, face us. Got it.
I mean, you can have it standing up too for
Cool.
the overhead. But
No,
I mean, for
no, that's good.
All right. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017 in Las Vegas. I'm Z Garcia. I'm here with Travis from Indie Boards and Cards /
Action Phase Games.
Action
One of the
Phase
Travises.
Games.
There's two of them.
Oh, now there's two of them.
Yeah, well, he's the other Travis, and then I'm...
This is getting too confusing for me. So Travis is with me today, and he's gonna be showing us a few different things, but we're gonna start right here with
Bees.
I know. How many E's is that?
5.
I'm glad you knew that.
It's 5.
All right, so what's going on?
So Bees is a real-time dice game. Think kind of like Roll For It, but it's the gamer. We say it's the gamer's version of a real-time
Roll
game.
For It. Okay.
Yeah. So players are going to have a stack of hive tiles in front of them.
Okay.
There's going to be this little pile of worker bees in the middle. We're each going to have one beeline card.
Beeline.
And then we'll have 5 dice. The dice, and this is obviously a prototype, they're going to 1 through 5 on all of the dice. On 2 of the dice, there's going to be a little wild, which is a little happy bee guy head. And then there's 3 dice that have a stinger.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is at the beginning of the game, we're going to start off, we're not going to actually play, but just humor me.
Okay.
So you hold your stack of tiles in one hand, you shuffle them up.
Face down like.
Well, so that when the dice would be facing up. You slam it down, you roll your dice, and you are trying to place dice on your tiles in front of you and your neighbor's tiles.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So if I do this, then is it one at a time?
So here's the thing. So if the dice that are showing are like the color of the tile, there's 5 different colors of the tiles. You have to place all of these at once. I'd have to place 3 5s at one time.
Gotcha.
On this one, you'd be able to place them one at a time.
Okay.
So let's just assume that you got a 2, you got a 4, and I got a 1. So this tile's completed. You had the majority. You would kick my die off. You would take this and you'd start your hive. You flip it over. I get a helper bee for helping you complete your hive.
Gotcha.
It's worth half a point at the end of the game. Whoever has the most helper bees at the end of the game gets 3 points. And also if the helper bees are depleted, then it's one of the game-in conditions.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing over the course of the game is while we're doing this, we're going to be frantically rolling dice. We have to roll with both hands.
Okay.
Okay. And in this game, when you re-roll any number of your dice, you have to re-roll all of them.
Gotcha.
So you can have some of them placed, but you can't
But you gotta-
selectively.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So you're going to be building your hive out over the course of the game. Each player will be, and going off of the stacks, you and your neighbor stacks. At the end of the game, you're going to score points for a like-colored adjacent tile.
So if you make the whole figure, boom, you score it.
So you would go 1. This would be worth 1, 2, 3 points. 4. Yeah, 1, 2.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, because this
3
one's
points.
not. This one's
Correct.
2 different halves and 2 different halves.
Yep. And so, like, if these were here, these would be worth nothing in your
Okay.
hive. So there is this. While we're kind of frantically doing this, you are trying to pay attention to the colors.
Well, I want to be looking at my neighbors also, see if I want
Yep,
that tile
yep.
more than my own.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I said, the little smiley face guys are going to be a wild, so you can use them as any number. And what the stingers are is the killer bee. So you say killer bees, and you can literally just take one of your neighbor's tiles, no matter if there's dice on, as long as it's not completed, and steal it.
And you still place it, you still use
You
it.
don't place them. You just say killer bee. You show
Oh,
it.
it's out.
Boom. Yeah. You take it and you put it into your hive. You're
Gotcha.
stealing it.
Gotcha.
So there's that.
Is it a single one of those
2
faces?
There's 3 dice that have the stingers. You need
So a
2.
single one will trigger. Oh, you need 2.
2.
Yeah.
Yep. And so each player has 16 tiles. There's 3 copies of each of the 5 tiles, and everybody has 1 wildflower. And what the wildflower is, when that comes up, you scream beeline, and each player that's adjacent to that player uses their card, and they're trying to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutively. The first player to get that would flip it over. It goes in their hive, and it counts as every color.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of little thinky type things going on in the game. It plays in about 5-10 minutes, but it's a lot of fun.
So high energy, lots of rolling, lots
bee
going
puns,
on.
lots of bee puns,
Bee
lots
puns,
of E's.
Bees.
Yeah.
All right, cool. When is this going to be available?
So right now it's up on Kickstarter for about another week, and we're looking to do, I believe, a Gen Con Origins or Gen Con release for this one.
Okay, pretty soon. Cool. And what's the price of it?
$25, which is pretty good considering it has 25 custom die, these bee tokens, and however 16 times 5 is 80.
Sure, why not? No, it doesn't sound right.
No,
but
that doesn't sound right either.
But 5 players, right?
It plays up to 5.
5, okay.
And then every player's got the one little card.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So on Kickstarter, another week.
Yeah.
So go check that out if it sounds cool. High energy, as I said, and we've got some more stuff over there. So let's see what else you want to bring out here, and just tell us a little bit about some of the other ones there.
So Trickster is a trick-taking game from Daniel Solis, who did Kodama for us.
Yep.
It's got art from Beth Sobel.
Nice.
It's a little bit different of a trick-taking game in that the players, there's not like numbers, it's not just numbers and suits, there's characters, and the cards actually have abilities. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to choose 7 of the different characters, of which there are 7 copies of them. You're going to shuffle them up, that's going to comprise the deck.
Okay.
What's interesting about the game is the
Look at these bees out here.
yeah, well, they're beautiful, but yeah. So the first player is going to play a card. The second player sets the trick.
Okay.
And the trick can be either same character. We're going to have a hand of cards, obviously.
Okay, right.
It'll be same universe, because the idea is it's like these characters across the multiverse.
Okay, okay.
So, or no match at all. So the second player would set the trick, and then you're going to try and go around, and every player is going to try to obviously follow the rule, triggering their abilities as they play. So a lot of it's going to be managing the cards that are scored. You don't want to score. Lowest score wins this game. So if it goes all the way back around, if everyone manages to follow suit, the trickster would then collect all the cards. Okay. If a player can't follow suit, they bust and they collect the cards.
So you don't want the tricks.
Correct. After every player, or after one player rather, runs out of cards in their hand, that would end the round. You play 3 rounds, and what you do is you look at who has the majority of each universe. Whoever has the majority gets to discard those cards. They don't score them. So kind of like parade.
Right, exactly.
Yep. And so it's got an interesting dynamic in that you have the modular play, so the trick taking with the abilities, the modular play, so that adds for interesting setups. And we have like suggested setups, like use these characters together if you want this type of a game.
Oh, cool,
Use these characters if you want a more confrontational game, etc.
So how many character decks do you use, and how many are there in the box?
So you use 7 in a game. I believe that if you play the max number of players, if you play 7 players, you use an 8th one.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that.
So 7 or 8.
7 to
that's
8, yeah. And you're going to.
You exclude some every hand, so you have at least a couple extra ones in there.
Well, you're gonna have a deck. You're gonna shuffle up, and you're gonna deal everybody X cards.
Okay.
They're gonna have it, and you're gonna start with 1 card in your tableau, so you're automatically scoring a point.
Gotcha.
Got it. So. What was your other question? Oh, how many come in the game?
Yeah.
I believe there's, with the little mini expansion we had, it's like 23.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit of options.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really fun little game. I think it does something different with trick taking. Daniel Solis and Beth Sobel, they're people that we work with and love. It's the 5th game in our small box line with like Kodama and Ninja Camp, those types of games.
Okay.
So,
Very cool.
We're excited.
When's that going to be available?
Origins.
Origins as well, and the MSRP on it?
20.
20 as well. How much was Bees?
Bees was 25.
25. That's 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Great look to it. Yeah, I love the Beth Sobel artwork is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we got one more we want to talk about here.
Delve, and this is, you have to forgive, this is a pretty beat up prototype with older look to it, but
Definitely.
nonetheless. So Delve is a game from Richard Launius and Pete Shirey. Pete from Cool Mini or Not.
Good old Pete.
Legendary.
Who we know and love.
Legendary Richard Launius. And what it is it's essentially, think Carcassonne meets like middle school D&D, like when you were playing D&D wrong, but it was awesome. So you're building a dungeon as you're playing, and you have your party, your characters, and there's some slight asymmetry. There's 4 different classes. There's a leader, there's a thief, there's a fighter, and there's a wizard. Okay?
Is there something in here we can show, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to give the camera some eye candy there.
Yeah.
Because we only got a couple of minutes, but we still want to show them something to look at.
You're going to be building out this. You're going to be building out a dungeon, and the individual players are going to have tiles, 5 tiles. So there's those 4 classes, and each of them will have 1 extra of one of those 4 classes.
I made a road.
You did.
I think that's a road.
I'm proud of you. Whenever you place, the gameplay is very simple. When you play a tile, you place it, and there's only 1 rule. Corridors have to connect. Okay. So I couldn't just go like this because this is jutting into this corridor. I could, however, go like this to start a new corridor that isn't. So whenever you place it, you then take one of your little deployment tiles, one of your characters, and you put it face down in one of the parts of the room. So here we have the blue room, we have the tan room, or we have a corridor. just like in Carcassonne where the castles close up, when that happens, if 2 or more players are in the room, you're going to battle for the spoils. Okay. So there's treasure chests, of which, of course, there are none on the tiles in front. Oh, there's one. And there's gold bags. Gold bags are simply cards numbered 1 to 3. That's the points. You keep those at the end of the game. Treasures are cards that are worth points that also have powers. Okay. And they're worth usually a little bit more.
Cool.
We're going to flip over our guys. They're going to tell us what dice we have, and we're going to battle for the treasure. If you happen to close a room alone, like say here, this little blue room, instead you have an encounter, a random encounter. You draw a card.
So you still have to deal with something.
Player to your left reads the little narrative part, and it says, do you want to do A or do you want to do B? They don't know what the outcome is.
Cool.
Just kind of like an old school D&D.
So yeah, I can see that whole Carcassonne meets dungeon delving kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very neat, very neat. When is this one going to be available?
This one.
This had a Kickstarter already, right?
This was on Kickstarter. Yeah, it did very well. It's coming out at Origins also with Trickster.
Oh, you guys are going to have a busy Origins, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, Origins is a cool enough con
Very
to
cool.
deserve.
All right, well, thanks for talking to me. Thanks. Always good to see you. And thank you for tuning in. We're going to see y'all real soon. All right.
Sorry, I was talking too much.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get that mic.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Q&A table. We are going to have Travis from Indie Boards and Cards here in just a minute. So certainly if you have any questions for him, drop them in the chat. I will make sure to inquire about why 5 E's and B's and not 6, because that seems to be of great concern to you in the chat. And I want to make sure that your important questions get answered for sure.
Yeah, I think you should lead off with that question.
Yeah, let's. So we're going to do some hard-hitting investigative journalism. I'm going to grab this, hold it nice and close. I feel like you're sitting away from me. Like,
I don't like you. So
do I smell okay? I'm okay. All right.
You're very unlikable.
So the chat's definitely concerned about bees, which is this great, fun, real-time thing. But bees, not hornets, not wasps, and 5 E's.
5 E's.
What was the decision? Was the 6th E just too much?
I got to be honest, I can't count the times I've typed in 3, 4, 19 E's. I forget, but we settled on 5 because 5 is a number.
Well, 5 is a number. It's 1 hand's worth.
Yeah.
1 hand's worth.
I don't have.
And a hand can almost be a hexagon. We'll go with that.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. But there are some real questions about, first of all, Eons and the War Eternal. Jobby wanted to know any information on that.
Yeah, it's launching on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're really excited.
Like in 5 days Tuesday?
Yeah.
There you go.
5 days. I've been on the road for 8 days and can't wait to work all weekend on Tuesday. Yeah. So that's launching. It's going to be very comparable to the initial release in terms of content. It's going to have it's a standalone but playable, it's a standalone expansion, right?
Okay.
So you can play it with the other Aeons In, the initial way Aeons In stuff, or you can play it alone. There'll be a small expansion. Yes, that's what standalone means. Sorry, I'm horrible.
Stand alone, not stand together.
Correct. That's why I was leaning away.
Okay.
So
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
And do you know what the pledge level will be to get a copy of the stand-alone?
It should be identical to what we did on the first project.
Great.
It very much mirrors the first project.
Awesome. I think there's a lot of people super excited about that one. Mm-hmm. And actually earlier in the chat, somebody was asking any new stuff to come up for Flashpoint Fire and Rescue.
We do have a Flashpoint expansion in development right now.
Wow.
It's pretty neat. It does something new with the hotspots. And it adds like a narrative element to the game. So, you might be going in and you discover there was a Breaking Bad type operation going on in a bathroom, hence what the chemicals were in there and caused a fire. So it adds a neat narrative type element to it. But there's no official date on when that is going to be released. We're still doing the development on it, but it is forthcoming.
But for fans of the game, they can be happy to know that there's some really cool stuff coming and in the works.
Yeah.
And one last quick question for you before we have to wrap up. Any other things planned for the Resistance? Any more expansion or retheming or anything like that? Or are we kind of enjoying what we've got right now?
Resistance right now, we're working on a Resistance app.
Say what?
Resistance application for a cellular device.
Oh, I have one of those.
iPadular devices. So that's what we're working on. We're not we don't have any expansions or anything in the works right now. Plot Thickens just came out at Gen Con, so we're kind of letting that one, get out there and let people enjoy it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we want to maintain the integrity of those lines, not just jam a bunch of content out there because.
Well, I have to admit, there were a lot of questions we're not going to be able to get to this time. Important questions about sharks and bees and wasps and hornets. So if somebody from our chat wanted to get a hold of you to dig into these topics more deeply, where can they find you afterwards?
You can hit me up on Facebook. You could hit us up, Indie Boards and Cards on Twitter. We have a website, actionphasegames.com.
Okay. So all over the interwebs.
Yeah.
They can find you.
Yeah, or shout.
I like the shouting approach. I'm going to use that for the rest of the day. Right. Travis, always a pleasure. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for watching us with Indie Boards and Cards. We're going to head back over to the main table and take a look at another group of games. Bye.
Otherwise, you'll eat yourself alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you internalize that stuff, you're in trouble. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. We're just having a very pleasant, interesting conversation over here. Why? God, this Eric Summer guy. All right, here we go. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017. I'm Zeke Garcia. I'm here with Jeff from Guerrilla Games. Good to see you again, my friend.
It's good to be me.
We're going to be taking a look at the best expansion ever.
That's right.
To the worst game ever right here. Tell us a little bit about the game itself before we dig into the expansion, which is the new thing you're showing, and then we'll turn our focus to that.
So the worst game ever, it's really about all the things I hate about games, gamers, and gaming. It's the goofy things that happen in games that make you frustrated and angry. And I made it as a joke. I wrote a bunch of cards that really do all the things you hate in gaming, like king making and cheating and that sort of stuff. And then I played it at Origins, and there was a dexterity game, which, by the way, I hate dexterity games, and where you're throwing a chip onto the table. So we're playing it at Origins, and people start gathering around and say, what's going on there? And they were really into it. And I said, no, I'm just doing this as a joke. And then people liked it and wanted to play it again. So I said, all right, I guess I got to publish it. So I made the worst game ever. And when I'm selling it at conventions, I say, hey, you want the worst game ever? And people look at me and say, no, I don't want the worst game ever. So I said, well, I'll make the best expansion ever. And then that can draw people in.
Okay, so how does the expansion work?
Well, so the game is really a simple system that I hate. Is everybody's got tokens, you're rolling dice and taking tokens away from people. And whoever has the most tokens when somebody runs out wins.
Okay.
Which I intentionally made it a mechanic that I hate just so I could hate it.
You gotta go all in, right?
Yeah, and so then the cards really modify that. So the cheating card lets you reroll, lets you add to the die. Or there's a broken card which lets you choose the number before you roll the dice. You're always going to roll exactly what you want. There's a Euro card in there that lets the die is always a 3 because in Euros there's no dice. And so it's really just about the things. And the hard part was making the cards be fun, but about things that I don't like. In the original game, I had a tedium card, and the problem is it was actually tedious, which is not what you want to do.
Right. So you actually had made it possibly the worst game ever at that point.
Yeah, so I ditched that in the reprint.
Okay.
And then, so then it went well, and it actually sold out in 2 months, so I had to reprint it. When I did, I said, let's see if maybe there's more than 100 things that I hate. And it turns out there were 100 more in the best expansion ever.
Oh, wow. So that adds as many cards as are in here?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, and so what are we getting in that box?
So you get some new cards like zombie games. I hate that everything has to have a zombie in it now. And so when players draw cards, they have to say brains or they have to pay 5 tokens to the kitty. So it's all, and in role playing, you have to say something goofy during each of your turns or match the kitty, that kind of thing. And endless expansions. This one, you get to shuffle in 5 cards from another game, and when somebody draws one of those cards, they have to pay you a token. And if the card makes sense for my game, then you can play it. If a majority of the players agree, like if the card says draw a card, then you get to draw a card.
Gotcha.
So,
wow. Okay.
And part of that is my trying to draw other people in, other game companies in, because ideally I would like for every game ever produced to have a little worst game ever card in it that says, here's how making fun of our own game. That's a little thing. Gotcha. And so I got my friends at Stronghold and R&R and Ad Magic and Apotheca and Smirk and Dagger. They all said, yeah, you can put a card in there. So it let me play with that a little bit. And I poke fun a little bit at their own product lines, like Apotheca is a game that's basically you're trying to get 3 in a row, so I call it tic-tac-toe.
Right, right.
So the really, and then one of the fun things I get to do is in the original game there's a misprint card, which is actually intentionally misprint. And in this one, I have this card, which has the wrong back, which is mismatched expansion cards, which is something that's happened to me before when I published Lifeboat and they printed the expansions at the same time, but at a different time on the press it came off, so it's slightly less saturated.
Gotcha.
So if you look closely, you can see they don't match, even though I did my best to make them match. So it's the kind of thing that you can hate, not just people, games, mechanics, processes. There's anything you can hate, and it's fun to love it.
Okay, very cool. I love how the Stronghold Games card is the bloated product lines.
Yeah.
Over here. Love you. Love you, Mr. Bonacore. All right, very cool.
He had a good laugh about that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's fun. All right, when is this going to be available?
It is available right now.
Okay, and the
Enjoy.
MSRP on that?
$9.95.
$9.95.
So this game comes with tokens and a die. This game doesn't come with tokens and a die. And if you don't have tokens and a die, then you're not really qualified to play this game.
You probably aren't going to get it.
Yeah. So you don't really need that base game, but it adds twice as much fun.
So if you've got this already, go out and pick that. If you even want to just try, you can
just
pick
try
that
it.
up, play
and then when you
this.
find out how awesome this is, you say, oh my, where can I find this? And then you're good.
There you go. All right, very cool. So what else is coming up from you in the future? What are we looking forward to here from Guerrilla Games?
I'm glad you asked. We've got Battle Stations 2nd Edition is coming out in July, and that is the update and reprint with plastic miniatures and awesomeness to the original game of Heroic Starship Adventure.
Okay, very cool. You got a timeline for that?
It will be coming out in July. We're looking at the proofs. They're here this week at at the show, so it's on its way.
Very cool. Very cool. Good talking to you, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you coming by and telling us about the best expansion
and
ever.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. That's right. Man, you stay here. I'll go talk to the internet. All right, everybody. See you next time. Cool.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, we try to make it fun.
If your contract permits.
Come on over here. Grab
over there.
There you go.
All right.
All right, let me get that mic off of you before you go, though.
Oh yeah, don't steal the mic. We hear everything you say all day. Take a seat, make yourself. That is you. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so welcome, Jeff. You're going to hold this one. We're going to do it a little different over here. Welcome to the live Q&A. We've got people that have been watching you talk about the worst game ever, which is incredibly funny. I love all the kind of in-game humor. You know, if you get gaming, you get the humor. You talked about the cost of the best expansion ever, but do you have the MSRP for the base game?
The worst game ever goes for $19.95.
Okay, and then
it's a steal at that price.
A complete bargain. But that does include like the tokens.
The tokens and the die.
The die,
Yeah.
so you get a few extra components.
Yeah, and you get, by the way, with each copy of the game, you get a rule sheet, which is in Pig Latin. And there's also on the back, for people who are not, Pig Latin's not their first language, we have it in English.
That's very thoughtful of you. I'm all about inclusivity in gaming, and I think in making sure that the Pig Latin primary readers are included is really thoughtful of you, and I appreciate that for sure. So you talked about getting other publishers involved, and like, you know, with Renegade Games and Apotheca and things like that. What's your favorite publisher card that you got to slide in there?
Let's see. Well, actually, the Smirk and Dagger backstabbing card is my favorite card. And you play that, and when somebody's supposed to get tokens, you get the tokens instead, which really fits in with Kurt's line of thinking.
Oh yeah. I play games with Kurt sometimes, and man, I get so angry. I mean, I have a lot of fun and a lot of laugh, but that guy, he just loves that kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's got that big old smile. He's got that big old grin that you say, oh, all right, I'm angry, but I can't be angry with you because you're enjoying screwing me so much.
Yeah, and is there like a writing team? What's the development process for something like this, where you're just, are you playing a game and something awkward or bad happens and you take a note, oh, I gotta make that into a card, or how does that come about?
Originally, my original idea was, I was thinking about how much I hate king making. And I said, oh, I could make a game about king making, and maybe that would be fun. And then I said, well, I could put other stuff, I can't just do that. There's got to be more happening, and so I got a couple other ideas, and I said, oh, I could make a whole game just around this.
Yeah.
So I had about 50 cards or so that I had in my original playtest, and then as I was playing games after that, and as people were playing with me, they would say, hey, have you thought about this? What about zombie games? Don't we all love zombie games? And I'd say, oh yeah, people hate zombie games. So it's really, it's been a like a crowdsource collaboration that people say, do a card about this, and then I jump in and tweak it to the point where I like it.
That's awesome. I think just listening to you talk through some of the cards, that was really entertaining. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. If people want to get a hold of you and give you some more ideas for really awful moments in games,
yes, I would love
how
that.
can they get a hold of you?
GorillaBoardGames.com. That's my website.
All your information's out there?
All the information's
That's
there.
easy to remember,
Please
Gorilla Board Games?
send me the things that you hate.
Oh, I would love to see your inbox sometimes. That's awesome. Jeff from Gorilla Games, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great show.
Thank you.
And we're going to head back over to the main table. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
That was fun.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time. We'll see you around. Thanks.
I'm going to use ET. As you defeat them, you get experience, items.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Z Garcia here, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2018.
We're going to start running them now.
We never started them?
Apparently not. It's okay, I can pull them off the web.
That's true. That's true. It's not a big deal. Okay, let's do that again. Hello, everybody. I'm Z Garcia, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the GAMA Trade Show 2017 in Las Vegas. I am here with Nate from Gigamic, and we're going to be taking a look at Wasabi, which has quite a few dice. This looks like it's going to be kind of action-packed. Tell me what's going on here. It just has that vibe. What's happening?
Yeah. Well, this is Wasabi Spicy Edition. Wasabi's actually been out in France for a little while, and we had an international edition that we tried introducing to the U.S. last year, and it had a card reference, and all the cards were very icon-driven, which kind of slowed the pace of the game down.
Okay.
So this is an English localized version. There's English text on the cards, so it plays out a lot faster.
All right.
So start with each player is going to get 4 dice.
Got 'em.
You're trying to get rid of all of your dice. Player rolls their dice, and you take a look at the symbols on them. We're going to have 3 cards here
Okay.
apiece.
right.
Wasabi symbols are used to power the cards in your hand. So you'll see that Z has little cards with W symbols in the upper corner.
Right there, yep.
Yep. The more Wasabi symbols you roll on your dice, the stronger the card effects you're going to be able to play. So here's a Wasabi card with 3 Wasabi symbols on it, so those 3 would count towards it. You can play 1 card per turn. Since I'm trying to get rid of all my dice, as I start getting rid of my dice, I can only play weaker cards. I can't play the stronger card effects, so it kind of balances itself out. There's also dice symbols for drawing cards and giving dice to other players. So, yeah, that's basically how it goes. So the cards will do things like make players discard, get rid of dice, pass cards and dice around between the different players. So it's your light, fast, 5-minute filler game in between other games.
Okay, and we'd be taking turns rolling the dice, playing the cards, giving dice away, all of that.
Yep.
Once I'm completely out of these, cards don't matter at that point. I've won the game.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
very cool.
Yep. And we're going to have a
card work is also really
Wasabi
really fun.
Dice Arena promo for attendees of the Dice Tower convention. Everybody who wants one's going to get one for free. And it stands alone or plugs into the Wasabi game.
Okay, very cool. So when is that going to be available, you
That's
said?
going to be available in June.
Okay, in June. And what's the MSRP on it?
$20.
$20. All right, Wasabi. And we've got Yogi?
Yep.
Okay.
Yogi is, we licensed a game called In a Bind from an inventor called Bez. And this game is basically draw a card, read it aloud, and then do what it says.
Right hand above elbow.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to do a card here, middle finger touching palm, draw another card.
It says this card touching right eyebrow.
You can put it inside of your glasses. That's legal.
All right, what else we got?
Yep. This card touching your left ear.
I've made so many mistakes.
Yeah. So you've got to obey all of the instructions.
This card covering one eye.
Yes, you have to obey all of the instructions on your cards.
So many mistakes.
Yeah. And as soon as you're not able to follow all of your instructions, you're eliminated from the game. It's my turn. Right index finger touching nothing. I've got that going on right now. I get all the easy ones.
One finger touching chin. It can't be from this hand. So
And you still have to be able to draw cards like that. He has to obey all of the instructions all of the time.
Yeah.
So
all right.
his only hope is that I fail on my next one.
When does this game end?
As soon as there's only one player standing. So
I'm gonna go lay down right now if that's what it takes. All right.
Yeah,
when is
so
this
this is
gonna be
also
available?
going to show up in June. It's going to have MSRP 12. It's a
Nice,
stocking stuffer
silly,
game
yeah,
that
yeah,
you throw in your bag that you can slap down in front of anybody, anywhere, and play a game in a couple of minutes.
Okay, very cool. Thanks for showing it
Yep.
to us. So check these out if you want to have some silly fun. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You got it.
And we can scoop this up and bring it over to you.
That was amazing. Keep going, Z. More cards, more cards. All right, everybody. We've just got a couple of minutes with Nate from GAMA. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Or if we just want Z to come over here and start playing more of that game, we can do that too.
Okay.
Right, Z?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Nate. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
It's good to see you.
All right.
Welcome to the table. So thanks for showing us two of the newest games that you've got coming out, Wasabi and Yogi.
Yes.
Yogi. Okay. And I was so distracted by Z over there. What was the MSRP on Yogi?
MSRP is 12.
Okay, so it's just a little deck of cards. It's
Yep.
inexpensive.
Yeah, it comes in a
silly
tin.
fun. Great.
Yep.
And on Wasabi, these are custom pressed dice, and they're really, really nice. And so the MSRP on that was 20. And how many dice come in that box?
24, so it supports 6 players.
It supports 6 players, great. And Brad in the chat, or somebody, the cube image says that we should play Yogi, and we're gonna go ahead and just keep moving along here.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? I noticed that you have a box over there for POW. Did you talk about POW up there?
No, I didn't talk about it up there. We showed that in Nuremberg. POW is actually on shelves now. It's a game by
Yeah, can we show the
Rainer
box real
Knizia.
quickly here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a Rainer Knizia game, and I've played it. And you want to give the 2-second elevator pitch?
Yeah, it's a spiritual successor to Picamino. It's basically a relicensing of his sushi game. I'm trying to remember the name of the sushi game.
Oh, I don't remember it offhand. Yeah,
At
there's a lot of games.
we rethemed it as superheroes. The art's absolutely brilliant of it. In it, you're trying to you're basically competing comic book creators, and you're rolling dice. You're collecting tiles from the middle and building stacks, much like Picamino did. And you're trying to have the right mix of good and evil, because at the end of the game, if you've got a whole bunch of superheroes but not many supervillains, you subtract superheroes from the top until the piles are equal. Your superheroes are positives, and so your villains are negatives. So it's going to wind up dinging your score pretty badly if you don't pick your strong heroes and then balance them off against villains they can pretty easily defeat.
Yeah, it's so. So I say Picamino. I might be saying it wrong. So Picamino or Heckmech for our friends in Germany that might be watching.
People think of it as the chicken and worm game. So
yeah, absolutely, the barbecue worm game. It's
one of my
wild.
go-tos for a long time.
Such a great game. Really, quite frankly, under-recognized, maybe undervalued a little bit. So POW is a great kind of revisitation, almost of some of the things you love about that, but taking it to the next level.
Yeah, it allows you to do steals a little more easily than you could in Picamino.
Okay,
because with Picamino, you had to hit a hard target, and with this one, you just have to roll 3 chat bubbles on your dice in order to take the top tile from somebody, or more chat bubbles, like 4 or 5, will let you choose which tile you want to take, but you can't look through somebody's stack to determine which one you want to grab.
Right. And then one last question on Wasabi. You mentioned a promo that could be had at Dice Tower Con, and you said it could stand alone?
Yeah, basically we've made Wasabi Dice Arena as this. There's a camera somewhere over here.
It's right over here.
Okay. Wasabi Dice Arena, this is just a crude paper prototype, where you'll be able to take any dice that you bring with you and just play, and it's a get rid of your dice game, and then it will plug into Wasabi, where you include, sort of incorporate the same features. So if you own our game, great. You know, you can play it, and if you don't, it still works. We wanted to give you a promo where you're going to use it as opposed to you're stuck with some things that you can't use if you don't have the actual game. So there you go. Our gift to you.
Oh, that's so nice. If people want to get a hold of you or find out, I mean, GIGAMIC has a huge product line. There's just some really great games kind of on, all like from the abstract set with Quarto and Corridor and things like that. And then you have all these kind of family-oriented games as well, like with Pound and stuff like that. If people want to find out about more of the games, or if they want to talk to you, ask any questions they might have on your games, where can they get a hold of you?
Well, GIGAMIC World on Facebook is our English language version. You can also reach us on Twitter at GIGAMIC World. The regular GIGAMIC Facebook and Twitter is for French, very specifically.
Right, so English speakers should hit up GIGAMIC World.
Yeah, and GIGAMIC World also has a bunch of puzzles and other things that you complete right there in Facebook that will also give you a feel of how some of our games play. And otherwise, on the web at en.gigamic.com to reach our English website.
Awesome, Nate. It's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and back to the main table. We'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you.
Even like the box itself is so pretty, right?
Yeah, it is. That reflective.
I won't say this on television, but it's also cool. This is a woman designer. How often do you see that?
No, that's
nice.
Very cool. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just mention, I'll say, a new designer for us, Kristen Heise.
Yeah, that's good. Very cool.
Yeah.
No worries about that. Bring more attention to that as much as we can.
Yeah, it's nice. How's the convention going for you guys?
Doing well.
Busy?
Yeah, it's very busy. 9 to 5. Doing this 9 to 5. We're good to go? Audio's good and everything? All right, I'll just give a short introduction, and then we'll hit the road.
All right, thanks. Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Did I say Tim?
No, you said Tom. I just wanted to remind you. Just
cool, thank you very much. All right. Hey everybody, welcome back to our 2017 coverage of the GAMA trade show here in Las Vegas. I'm here with Tom from Kosmos. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Appreciate it. And we've got Kerala. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did.
All right, Kerala is set up for you. So take it away, Tom. Tell us about this.
Kerala is a game that is based. The idea is that you're in the province of Kerala in India, and it's a very beautiful game where you're building platforms to attract the elephants that are on parade. It's an annual event there.
That's
and
cool.
So that's the theme, and the designer is a new one for us is Kristen Heise, and this is a really cool family weight game. Plays in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And it plays up to 5, which I think is great. It actually plays best at 4 or 5, in my opinion.
Okay. So higher player count is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're just moving these beautiful wooden elephants around as you're placing tiles. It may look like a multiplayer solitaire game at first glance because you're building a platform and you're building a platform. But the really cool thing about this, kind of like Imhotep, there's this very small way that you influence other players and it becomes a very big deal.
Okay.
It's this public drafting market.
Okay.
Where if I'm the first player, I take this, and I can take a card that's really good for me, or I can take the one that I know you want.
Yeah, okay.
And it's public because I have 100% knowledge of what you want.
Yeah.
And it's really, it can be cutthroat, but it's pretty family weight because it's quick and fun.
Yeah, it's very light, right.
Yeah.
That's cool. So do we have like starting setup of tiles at the beginning of the game, or is it just there's a pool and we start building our own tableaus?
So this is kind of a mid-game example, but
Okay.
when you start, you're going to start with one tile of your color,
Okay.
and you just keep building out. And building out means that you put a tile on your platform and you move an elephant onto that tile, ontological. So as you continue to build, you continue to move your elephants.
Okay.
And the tricky part of that is obviously you want to, well, I didn't say this before, but you have to keep your colors together.
Okay.
So if you get a purple one, you're going to want to put that next to your existing purple one. If you get a red one, you want to keep that. But sometimes the elephants don't allow you to do that.
Okay. So do you always have to place, do you have to move the elephant wherever you place next to? Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. So what's the goal of the game, I guess you could say?
So the goal of the game is to get the most points. And the way you get the most points is by having all of the colors like, because you want the most beautiful platform.
Right.
You want all of the colors in the game, which is 5, on your platform, and then you want the most elephants on your platforms as well. So this one has 2. They have 1, 2, or 3. And again, that's where the cutthroat can kind of happen, where I can take the 3 or I can take the 1. Just depends on what I think you want, what I want.
All right, cool. So it's very, very colorful. The box is stunning. Very cool. All right, so what have you got next for us? We can just kind of put this over to the side.
So Brutal Kingdom. Let's move that.
Swipe.
Thank you. So this is one that I'm very excited about.
All right, Brutal Kingdom.
The designer Michael Reineck, who's done some great games. If you're familiar with Pillars of the Earth and the subsequent games, he did those, and he's also done some other ones like Dracula.
Right.
So this is a 3 to 4 player card game. It plays relatively quick.
Okay.
The name is Brutal Kingdom, and it is brutal.
That's good. I'll let people know right off the bat.
Each card, there's 20 cards in the game, and they each have these, like, I'll put this down here so you can see.
Let's keep them straight like this.
Beautiful artwork on them.
Wow, that's cool.
And each card has a unique ability, and that.
I love that dude.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Oh, let's see. One of my favorites is the Berserker. Oh, he's great. It's a bear. I love that.
Very cool.
Very cool.
All right.
So, as you play these cards, 4 cards each round, 4 rounds. That's the whole game.
Okay.
But as you play these cards, they're going to inevitably affect other players.
Okay.
And usually in a negative way. So the goal of the game is to get the most points, but you only get points if your cards stay active, and other players are going to try to inactivate your cards.
Huh.
The way you avoid that is strategy.
Okay.
Just knowing what cards to play at what time.
Okay.
It's brutal at first because you don't know how to counteract that negative or the other opposing team, the opposing powers. But after you get the hang of it, it just becomes highly strategic and very fun.
So kind of maybe a high or a steep learning curve because you don't know what cards are in the game, but as you play the game more, you become more familiar with what's in the game. Then you know what you're safe playing, so to speak, and what might be a kind of more of a risk.
Yes, it's definitely a learning curve.
Right.
I would say that learning curve is only 1 round, though.
Okay.
Because once you've played it, you kind of figure out how the cards interact with each other.
Okay.
It's got a really cool end game mechanism for points, which I won't explain here, but it's got a lot of thought. It's very balanced. It's a great game.
Okay.
And I think $15. It's going to be released in May.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
It's going to be a home run for us.
All right. Very cool. All right. What's next?
All right. So next, we don't have a English version of this yet, so this is just a mock-up box. But this is Word Slam.
Word Slam.
And Word Slam is a party game, and it's similar to a charades type game, only you're competing with word cards at the same time. So let's say plays best with like 8 people.
Okay.
Right? And we are both on opposing teams. We're both going to be giving our teams clues for the same word.
Okay.
So we're giving clues. I'm trying to get my team to guess Brazil, and you got your team, and they're trying to guess Brazil as well. We're each giving them cards, and they're guessing at the same time.
Okay, so you're not actually saying anything, but you have like a hand of cards, and you're giving them these cards, trying to get. Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's interesting.
105 cards, and we
Okay.
have the exact same deck of cards that we can choose from. It's full of like nouns and verbs, adjectives and pronouns.
Right.
You just use those cards to communicate to your team. It gets a little bit rowdy.
Yeah, I imagine, yeah. Okay, so that's Word Slam. So what's the timeline for this one?
That one's going to be probably June, maybe a little bit later.
There's some stuff we can show them on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
All right, so you said June or a little bit later?
June or a little bit later.
What's the price point going to be about?
This one's going to be 40.
40?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice big cards, and there's 400 plus cards because you have a lot of variety. Like,
wow.
It's nice because it scales well too. It has a very like beginner clues, then it has easy, medium, and hard.
Cool.
So you can tailor it to your friends. If you want to really struggle, you can do the expert cards because they are pretty hard.
All right. So that's Word Slam coming in June, you said?
Yes.
All
Yep,
right,
June.
cool. All right, what's next? Now that has a very important name on it, I think.
Yes, it does.
Or a well-known name.
Ken Fall, this is not the official box.
Okay.
We do not have the official game yet.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring this because I'm excited about it.
Okay.
And also something very cool about this game and how it's being released is it's being released at the same time as the book.
That's
so
cool.
Ken Follett, who wrote Pillars of the Earth,
right,
and World Without End, he has written a new book called Column of Fire.
Yeah.
We're going to release the board game at the exact same day as the book. So September 12th.
That's neat.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to have copies at Gen Con to demo, so you can play it at Gen Con with us at our demo booth, but you won't be able to buy it until September 12th.
Okay. September 12th. So what's the price point going to be on this one?
I believe it's going to be $50.
What kind of game is it going to be?
So we don't know a whole lot. I've got the German instructions,
Gotcha.
which German's not so great, but there's going to be a little bit of worker placement, area control, and espionage. And I think that's where it's going to be really interesting.
Wow.
I'm not sure how that's working into it, but I know that there's going to be some secret motivations throughout the game.
All right.
And that I think is going to be really cool. That's going to be kind of the thing that's going to set this game apart.
Yeah, well, the worker placement is definitely a pretty good, huge carryover from Pillars. So, that was a great game as well. So, all right. So that is a Column of Fire from Ken, based on the book by Ken Follett. And that's about it, I think. Have you got anything else you want to say?
I didn't bring a copy of it, but we also have the Exit games this year, which are this kind of like the escape room games. We've got 3 of them, $15 each. They're going to be available in May, and those are also going to do really well.
Yeah.
I think that the escape rooms do well on their own.
Right.
I will say ours are probably a little more difficult than the majority of them out there.
Okay.
They're very tough.
Yeah.
But if you like the challenge, you should check them out.
All right, very good. All right, so the escape rooms, or escape room games, exit games. So look out for those as well. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us.
Sam.
We appreciate it.
And thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us as well. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, we'll clean all this up for you if you go over there with Z.
Okay. Thank
Leave
you.
your mic here, though, because we have a handheld over there for you.
Ooh, those lights are
Yeah, they are.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Tom. We appreciate it.
Sure. Come and join me. This is hot, yes?
Yeah.
That's going to be for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You can hold that up a little bit, probably. There you go. All right, so we've got just a couple of questions here for you. There's one new one. I'll start with that before I forget it. Any word on an English print of La Boca?
La Boca already exists. Z-Man has already picked it up.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I love that game, so I would love to print it ourselves. But right now, Z-Man's got that. So.
Okay, cool. Pillars reprint. Is that in the works?
It's in the works. However, we have not started the official process of that.
Okay.
So we don't think we want to change much, because personally I love the game.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
adore
want to change anything. But we're open to suggestions if people have ideas, things that they would like to see in the game. No word yet on the expansion, but I mean, I think that the expansion needs to become available as well.
Yeah,
in my
probably,
opinion.
right.
So yeah, if you have suggestions, if you played the game and you like it, but you think, maybe it could use this, yeah, contact Kosmos. We'll definitely take a look at it.
So you guys are doing it. I mean, it is
Absolutely.
getting worked on. It's gonna happen.
Yep.
The Target expansion that came out in German, as far as I know, are there any plans in the works to bring that to an English-speaking market?
Yes. No, we're going to release Targi, the Kosmos Targi, which is essentially the same game, either the end of this year or the beginning of next year, and we're going to try and do the expansion at the same time.
Okay, very nice, good. What is the status of the rest of the 2-player line? Are there more games coming out there, reprints, new games? How's that shaping out?
So this year we didn't do any of the 2-player line. We didn't bring any back, and that was mostly because we've got 10 new games this year.
Right.
And a lot of that was just because people really wanted some of the new games that we're producing. It was just, requested. So that's unfortunate, because I think we could put out some more of those 2-player games, and I think that we will. We just need, input from people. What do they want?
Right.
I want all of them.
You guys are definitely very open to the consumers, guys, telling them what you'd like to see them bring. And I know you guys, they're definitely very good about that. Let's talk a little bit about the exit games.
Oh, yeah.
Is it called Exit?
Exit the game.
Exit the game.
And they are escape room sort of themed puzzly activities, would you
Yes.
say? Okay.
Yes.
They're timed.
They are timed, but not in the same way as most escape rooms. You don't have an hour. You have as much time as you need.
Okay.
But you are given kind of points at the end of the game based on how long you take and how many clues you take.
Okay.
This game is very hard, but it comes with clues.
Okay.
So you take a clue, it's going to help you solve the puzzle, but it's also going to take away some of your points.
Gotcha.
So you could still take 2 hours and get a good score if you don't take any clues.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 hours is probably the longest it would take anyone.
Okay. And they're completely self-contained, no app integration, none of that. It's just
Correct.
It's what you get in the box. You see, you have multiple of them in the works.
We have 3 of them right now, and we got 3 more coming out either the end of this year or beginning of next year.
They're
Probably the beginning of next year.
Completely separate, so you can buy the 3 individually.
Mhm.
Okay, and you can reset them and
So-
play again, or are there any destructive elements to the games?
Without giving away too much, you
Uh-huh.
cannot replay it.
Okay.
There is some destructive elements
You
to it.
play it, you experience it, you're
Mhm.
done with it.
Yeah, but it's $15, so we feel like it gave us the opportunity to do some really unique puzzles by making it destructive, but we decided to keep the price point low so people felt really like they were getting their money's worth for one play. And I personally think it's great.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. How many players can play one of these?
So the back of the box, I believe, says 6 players. I mean,
Okay.
but like any game, you can play with more if you want.
Make it easier with more, a little
Yeah.
harder with fewer brains
Yep.
working at it.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can play with one. You can definitely do it with one.
Okay, very cool. Let's see if we got any more questions here. Price point replay. We just talked about that. What else have we got here? English version of Jaeger and I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
That one. That's
We've-
the Reiner Knizia game, right?
I believe he was the designer. Yeah, we've looked into that a little bit. We don't know if we're going to start carrying it because I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer on that one.
Okay.
I know
okay,
we have
no
a
problem.
copy of it in the office, so we're
Okay.
looking into it.
You're thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Mhm.
Okay, very cool. All right, I think we're going to wrap up with that. Is where can people find you online to give you ideas or just to ask you questions? How do they get in touch with you?
That's a good question. So the short answer to that is our website is thamesandcosmos.com.
Mhm.
Cosmos Games is kind of a branch of Thames and Cosmos
Okay.
in the U.S.
Right.
So if you want to contact us, go to thamesandcosmos.com, and you'll find ways to contact us there. Or you can just send an email to contact@thamesandcosmos.com.
Right. That's important that you use that name because, like you said, it's you guys are utilizing the same name, but you are the English speaking
Yes.
branch of that.
We are the English branch. We're the American branch of Cosmos Games or Cosmos Publishing in Germany,
Right.
and just to distinguish ourselves, we acquired Thames.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I think that's it, Tom. Thanks very much. Good talking to
Thank
you.
you,
Good
Z.
seeing you. We're going to let you go.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks. Thank you, everybody, for all the questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, whenever these guys are ready, we're going to throw it back over there. And again, send me your questions.
All right, throwing audio to you guys.
Okay.
Wherever you're ready.
We're live?
We will be.
Okay.
Just a few minutes. Just get on over.
Okay. I think we're good.
Whenever you're ready. Yeah. Okay, you set? Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to our 2017 GAMA trade show coverage here in Las Vegas. You're watching the Dice Tower. I'm Sam Healy. I'm here with Vincent from Lucky Duck Games.
Nice to meet you.
And so first of all, tell us a little bit about the mission of your company, where you're going with it, and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you. So I actually come from the video game industry.
Okay.
It's been 9 years I'm in the video game industry. And for all this time I was trying to find product that would complement the thing that I could basically offer to my digital players.
Okay.
And we tried everything. We tried T-shirt bugs. Nothing worked because nothing was actually meaningful. And a year and a half ago, we actually teased the idea of a board game in Vikings Gone Wild, which is from one of my studio, Every Day I Play. And the reaction to the player was like we never seen before. Like, oh wow, okay, there might be something interesting here.
Right.
So we worked really hard on Vikings Gone Wild, got it out, got a Kickstarter, and got a lot of response that made sense, and said, okay, there is something on this. So I really established Lucky Duck into this mission to be extremely focused, especially in an industry that has a lot of studios doing games.
Right.
We're establishing ourselves on only doing the porting of those video games. And I'm here today to show what's coming next, the next video game, Zombie Tsunami, which is a license that has 35 million monthly active users. So after Vikings Gone Wild, that was or basically my tryout with my own little game, and in terms of license, I mean, and see it working. It's my industry, the video game, so I know most of them are my friend. And when I pitched the idea, they were thrilled at the idea, so that's what we're working on and releasing in September.
So you kind of cut your teeth with Vikings Gone Wild, and now you're going to use the same kind of engine to produce Zombie Tsunami. Okay, so explain to us what Zombie Tsunami is and what you're doing and all that kind of stuff.
So Zombie Tsunami is a 3 to 6 player game, and it's basically a short party game that plays from 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
In this game, everybody is leading a horde of zombies. So we are the zombie in the game. It's reversed.
All right.
And so the winner is the one that has the most of those zombie cubes, I'd say, at the end of the game.
Okay.
But obviously the humans are going to try to stop us, the zombie, to grow.
Of course.
And they are throwing stuff at us. So basically the game works in 3 rounds, and for each round you go through 6 cards, so it's 18 cards.
Okay.
And what are the cards? So they are throwing a card at us. This means that basically we need all of us, we take our little zombies and you need to roll. All of them survived here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here.
Okay, yeah.
But I have 2 who died here.
Okay.
Here it's capped at only 1 died, but basically this is how we simulate them trying to jump and basically trying to jump over the vehicle.
Okay, so if it lands on the face, it's dead.
Exactly.
And if it lands on something that doesn't have the face, it's good.
So it counts your point, but it's also a gameplay element that's actually really fun to play with.
Yeah.
The second one is big vehicles, and those we have to push together. Typically, it's made in a way that we're all codependent. It's big enough that I don't have enough. So here it says the team needs to have at least 12 together. If you have 4, have 4, and another 4 if we make together. But the way it works is that you have to have this secret votes where I'm still gonna say, hey, he's really big. Why don't you pick this color?
Yeah.
Anyway, at the end there's this process. Everybody does that. We all reveal. There's the, oh no, you betrayed me, or like.
Okay.
This voting process and other activity are basically getting a civilian or bombing each other. The game has definitely a Texat party element to it, so it's gentle, but we're definitely eating each other, right? It's a very competitive game.
All right.
Now the meat of the game are those cards, and we all have a secret role, and we have 3 different secret roles. It's reshuffled at the beginning.
Okay.
And I'll show you a quick sample. For example, this guy needs to have a civilian at the end of the round, so he can only show it at the end of the round.
Okay.
So simple. This guy's goal is to bomb a civilian, and when he does, he can get 2 stuff. So it looks a little too simple if there is not the quarterback, which goal is to get bombed. And if you bomb him, he actually steals 2 from you. So the best way to get bombed is to pretend to be the UFO, and this guy has to make a choice and try to figure out when he needs to bomb.
Gotcha.
So it creates this kind of codependence. And I have one more card which for example, it's called a tsunami, and it's basically the trader. So during this kind of exercise, it's not only about what's the most points and who I want to be with. I could just be with you, but you could be the trader, and actually, if you have the tsunami card, you will be able to steal zombie from me.
Okay.
That's kind of the mindset. It's very simple. It's actually oriented towards. It's the audience of the video game is also very young. So we're in Cannes Festival, and we got a chance to play this with families, and it went absolutely well. So this is also what the target we had with this game. Basically, a family-friendly game that also is a good party game for young adults.
Okay, cool. So these cards up here, these are like cards that you can buy?
Yeah, so to get a bit more control over this dice rolling, zombie rolling stuff, there is 2 phases of shop during the game. The smallest, the one who has the least of zombie who is behind is the first one to pick, and so
Okay.
and it basically refill. And what you can do, you can buy zombies, you can steal zombies, you can look at someone's secret bonus, you can buy civilians and exchange cards. So basically, trying to get control on what you want to do, try to activate those. Buying a civilian here because you're the UF or something like this.
Okay.
And yeah, so there is a slight element of luck. But there's also some luck mitigation because you can buy those. Those help you save yourself when dice is not your thing.
Yeah.
You can save your. So you can decide to spend your money on saving your zombies.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's kind of the.
All right. So 3 to 6 players, about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What's the price point going to be on this?
It's going to be $25.
$25.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
$24.99. So.
Okay.
All right. So
so you have some more news on Vikings Gone Wild,
Yes,
though.
absolutely.
So let's get those guys over here and see what you have about that.
So Vikings Gone Wild, which you guys have done a very kind review, is coming out in retail in 2 weeks now.
All right,
and,
retail 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks,
All
absolutely. And it had because it was manufactured in Europe. It's been sold in Europe for months and a half already, and we're almost sold out. So
wow!
We're already recruiting.
Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
Very
So
good.
we've been very blessed with the reception of the game, and. I won't pop this one up today to show you the details, not the goal, but I just wanted to show you what's coming up further than the base game. We have 2 expansions here coming up. So Guild War, it's the first one coming. It's going to come on about a month after this release, and it brings a 2 versus 2 gameplay, exactly, where in top of your town hall you actually have a guild tower, and this that you can also upgrade the same way that and this allows you to exchange card, to actually to borrow resources to your. It's because you really play 2 in team of 2, so it brings this element of cooperation. There's tons of mission about do something with your partner or like defend your partner. So the mission also are towards that, but you actually can play in a normal way, and it brings flying units. It brings the concept of walls. So there's the factories it brings don't produce resources, but they produce tokens, boost token, defense tokens, and walls.
Okay, cool. So this is 1 month out.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, and this one is, you said 3 months out, I said.
And so so this one is not going to come immediately. This one focuses, it basically brings a new kind of card called the spells, and the kind of all the units and defense card are gone. This one is more of a basically bring a tighter economy. There is an expert mode where the factory are gone.
Okay.
So it makes you when the factory are gone, it does 2 things. All your building, they're all at least 3 or 4 in defense. It means that you cannot use your little one guy to attack someone.
Understood.
And also it's much slower in terms of resources. So the spell also obviously bring this way to get resources, but it's all about deck manipulation. So you can you basically destroy a lot of cards. You kind of buy but destroy a lot, and it really forces you in a completely new way to think how to play this game and beat someone with a much more tense economy.
All right, very good. So you got Vikings Gone Wild hitting retail stores in 2 weeks, Vikings Gone Wild Guild Wars expansion 1 month, and Magic expansion in 3 months.
Exactly.
All right, very good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Thank you very much.
All right, go ahead and take your microphone off and go join Z over there. And the internet has got some questions for you.
Hey, everybody. Hey, how you doing? Good to meet you. All right, so we're going to be asking you a couple of questions. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we had a couple of questions crop up here. Zombie Tsunami, what's the recommended ages on that?
So what we've tried with family, and it started at 9 years old. Okay. You can start to play with your kid. Because of the hidden role, you can't go any younger, but it's actually a game that plays really well in family. Like it's something that we've seen at Cannes that the kids just love it and they get it immediately. The game is not complex, right? It's about like rolling some zombies and you have this few key decision. So yeah, I'd say 8-9 years old.
Yeah, because I guess what they were worried about is the if it was morbid or something, but it looks very light-hearted, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's very bright. It's kind of silly.
Yeah. It's very silly. I mean, we're gonna steal a bit of Ocheter, but the economy of the game is very generous. You get a lot of zombies all the time, and everybody kind of end up around 8 to 10 zombies in their hand. So even though you lose zombies, you actually get a lot than what I might have shown it during that presentation.
Okay, sounds good. Someone was asking about the Vikings Gone Wild expansions with the missions and everything.
Yeah.
Is it going to add time length to the game?
No, it's the time length doesn't change much. I was mentioning one last expert mode for it's a kind of magic that could be stretched a little bit. But in general, the game has the same format. Those expansions obviously will be played by people who understand the game. You will have not that first game where you kind of swamp a bit everywhere, trying to and kind of lose time, not focusing on army or resources enough. So it doesn't stretch the time, and it really what we wanted to achieve here is to really reinvent the way you have to think, right? It's a kind of a new puzzle in the way you're thinking, because the best set is the base set is the base set, and it has this puzzle, and you figure out, like, if I focus on just this big guy in the attack, this is one efficient way to get to victory. So these kind of throw at you kind of new challenges and new form of interaction.
Okay, cool, great. I think that's all we got for you. Just a little more information about Vikings Gone Wild. Let's tell them, though, where they can find you online, if you have social media.
Sure.
If they have more questions for you or want to know anything else.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're always reachable by email, info@luckydoggames.com, and we have a website, luckydoggames.com, as simple as that.
Cool.
And we're all over Facebook. We have a fan page. We love to interact and answer questions, so if anybody wants to get in touch, we even answer message on our fan page or our Facebook page. So.
Okay, cool. And they were loving your logo, by the way. Everybody was saying they were really digging the logo.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. So good talking to you.
Sir, thank you so much
Appreciate
for having us here.
Yeah, you got it. I'll take that.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, have some fun, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
A few moments.
Ready when you are.
Yeah, we have other videos.
This one has a lot.
Why would you suggest
A lot different.
Yeah, style.
You guys put out.
Yeah, it's got
Still
a,
really good though.
Yeah, we got a whole new team. I'm working on this game. Very dark. One more row is.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Just hang on.
Almost there.
Speaking of the other
That's right on. This is right on the edge. We're good.
we are fully compatible with
I know it's supposed to be 2 players. Is there going to be cards in between here? Yeah, there are. Okay. That's fine.
Just bear in mind, if we go to the Q&A slide, it'll be upside down. Oh, yeah. We'll just do it during next week.
No, and with it, because it's really simple. At this point,
Yeah, so obviously we'll start with Sorcerer. We've got a lot of stuff for this. I don't know whether we break it and put this way or just put stuff
No,
on.
we
I
can
got that.
just
I got the iPad
to the side.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to set it on top.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our 2017 coverage of the GAMA trade show here in Las Vegas. You're watching the Dice Tower. I'm Sam. This is Rob from White Wizard Games.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. And you have a rather dark, ominous game looking game at least. Tell us what it is.
So this, sorry, my bad.
You guys rushing us. We lost our stuff. All right. Now we're set. All right,
Hear
let's
me
do that
now?
all again.
Okay.
We'll do that all again.
Sorry, man.
No, it's my bad.
Try to be just as warm.
Oh yeah, we will. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us back here with our coverage of the 2017 GAMA trade show here in Las Vegas. I'm Sam Healy. You're watching the Dice Tower, and this is Rob from White Wizard Games.
Good to see you.
There we go. It's a little
Hey,
bit of a tongue twister there. You have a very ominous-looking game set up for us, so tell us about it.
So this is Sorcerer. Sorcerer is designed by a friend of mine, Peter Schultz, and it is a dark Victorian horror game where players are playing evil sorcerers, trying to battling for control over Victorian London.
So no good guys here.
There are no good guys. Everybody's bad.
Okay.
This game is the game is awesome. It's very different from the stuff we've done before. So as you can see, there's lots of components. It's going to be very high-end stuff. The art and graphic design in this game are really beautiful.
Yeah, it's like nothing you've ever done before,
and
but it's still really good.
Yeah, and the gameplay is phenomenal, but this is a whole different category game. This is going to be a big boxed game. It's going to have a lot of premium components. It'll probably come in MSRP $50 to $60 with all the stuff that you get. The gameplay is about an hour and a half, and you can play it 2, 3, or 4 players out of the box. I have here a 2-player setup, and each player will have a personal board, and you have the City of London laid out in these 3 mini boards. Yeah, 3 locations. And at the beginning of the game, each player builds a character. And the process to build a character is very simple. There are 12 little mini decks, and you simply grab 1 deck from the first row, 1 deck from the second row, and 1 deck from the third row to make your character. So for example, if I grabbed this one from the first row is your character's name. Then the second row is their bloodline, which evil god they were descended from, which gives them different magical powers. So for example, perhaps I'd choose the Necromancer, and then the last one is where you've been training. So for example, perhaps I'd choose of the Screaming Coast. And so in this case, my character would be Tegu, the Necromancer of the Screaming Coast. Each of these cover cards you'd put in front of you, and these would show your opponent who you were, and they each list a special power that you have that you can use throughout the game. And the remaining cards you simply shuffle together, and that makes your deck. You have a turn that which is shared between players. So one of the players will have initiative, which this metal coin represents. And on your turn, you take an action. You move your action counter down 1, and there's several different things you can do. You can draw 2 more cards from your deck. You can gain 2 points of energy. You can play a card from your hand, or you can move one of your guys who's on the battlefield with your action. And playing a card from the hand is very simple. If a card has a cost in the upper left-hand corner, and then to play the card, you simply reduce your energy by that cost, and you play it on the board. There are 3 different locations where you can play them, and they're all separate battlefields. So if I play a minion over here, it can't affect the middle or this battlefield unless I spend an action to move it over. After we go back and forth taking actions, and we're all done with all of our actions, then you move on to battle, and you do 1 battlefield at a time, and players take turns attacking with their minions, and when you attack with them, you turn them sideways to show they're used, and you roll dice equal to their offense.
Okay.
Skulls represent a hit, a star represents a critical hit, a double skull is 2 hits, and the white squares are misses.
Okay.
And the critical hits, you get to assign the damage. You determine where it goes, whether it hits the opponent's side of the battlefield or one of their minions there. The regular hits, the opponent then assigns.
Okay.
You also have the ability to control the dice a little bit in that when you play certain cards, you'll get a omen token, which you put on your board there. And when you roll the dice, if you don't like the result on one of the individual dice, you can spend an omen token to re-roll that die.
Okay.
Or to force your opponent to re-roll one of their dice.
Okay.
You also have, in addition to these minion cards, you have sorcery cards, which do something that affect the game or the battlefield. And then finally, you have cards that you can attach to minions. Some of them are negative things you can attach to your opponent's minions, and some of them are like useful equipment you can attach to your minions. So you end up with a tactical battle game with a card deck building experience, game's really fun. And got a great theme to it. All the game designers spent a lot of time researching various myths and legends to create the monsters that you'll be controlling throughout the game.
Cool.
So a lot of rich flavor, super fun game.
So when a location reaches its
so if you do 12 damage to a location, you flip it over, and then it shows the destroyed city on that part, and you put the damage marker on your side of the board to show that you won it. And if you win 2 out of the 3 battlefields, you win the game.
Okay.
The minions who are in a battlefield that was won on both sides stay there. They don't fight, but you can spend your actions to move them out of that battlefield into a portion where the battle's still going on.
Okay. So I imagine this is if you have 4 people, you're gonna have 4 stacks of minions.
So
at each
basically,
location?
you'll have there's a team version where you and I will be playing together, trying to teaming up, trying to control, and then we can both play minions on our side of the battlefield.
Okay.
There's also a cooperative version where there's basically a big boss that you're fighting against.
Okay.
There's a variety of ways to play. Like a lot of our games, we have a lot of multiple ways to play, and you can pick your favorite version.
Definitely. All right, so that is Sorcerers.
Yeah, Sorcerer, and that's coming out.
Singular Sorcerer.
Yeah, Sorcerer, and that's coming out. We'll have a Kickstarter for it in the next few months, and then we're looking to get into stores for Christmas of 2017.
All right. Wow, that's a pretty fast timeline.
Yeah. Well, and it's a Christmas themed game, so.
Okay. All right. So that's Sorcerer. What have you got next for us?
Okay. Next we have. I want to talk a little bit about the digital version of Epic card game. Okay. So our Kickstarter backers are going to be getting.
We can lay it right here.
Yeah, great.
There we go.
So our Kickstarter backers are going to be getting Epic Digital next week. This is the alpha, and the app will be out for the general public probably about 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
And in this, you can play Epic. You can play in. You can challenge your friends or play random opponents like you can with the Star Realms app, where you can basically buy the game and then you can play as much as you want for free versus your friends or against random people around the world. You can play Constructed. You can play the random 30 format, where you get 30 random cards and play. You can play the Dark Draft format, where you're drafting against your friends. You can play beginner formats, which are like pre-constructed decks of the various colors. And the beginner format will actually be free. So players who download the app to try it out, they have a free version that they can try. This is, as I said, this is coming for our Kickstarter backers next week, and will be available to the general public in a few months.
In a few months. Okay, cool.
Next thing I want to talk about is our next Star Realms set. So we have a small expansion coming out for Star Realms, which is really cool. It's a scenario pack. And in this scenario pack, you'll have 20 different scenario cards. And what you do is you shuffle them up and you flip over a random one, and that'll give you rules that you're playing that particular game of Star Realms under. So it might modify your starting decks, it might change.
App already does this, right?
Yeah, so it's like the missions that you play against in the app when you're going through the various scenarios, but it's designed for 2 players, and it's obviously designed to give you even matchups. So there'll be 20 different scenarios. They're a lot of fun. Like we can do some cool stuff with them because you might not want to play this way every single game, but because there's 20 different scenarios and you choose when you're playing them, we can do some wacky, really cool things that really turn the game on its head, and suddenly it really changes the math on which cards you want to get. And so like here is an example of a scenario card. So with the Rush Defenses card, bases may be acquired for one trade less than their printed cost, and when you acquire ships, you can put them directly on top of your deck.
That's cool.
So this totally changes everything because you're like, oh, I need this ship immediately or next turn to deal with this. So you'll be buying things thinking about the immediate consequences of them. And the bases costing 1 less makes them these great bargains, but you have to wait for them, but the ships you're getting right away. So it really creates a really interesting play situation. And as usual with the Star Realm stuff, we've got some really awesome art.
Really nice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of beautiful visuals, and this is going to be coming for the summer for Star Realms. And
it's going to come in one of those little blister packs,
it'll be a little blister pack. So it'll be a 20-card booster pack, and it'll be available at your at your local retailer. So, and then the last thing we have is just wanted to let people know about the campaign for Hero Realms. That has expanded quite a bit. It's now a 144 card set. It's a ton of fun. You'll be playing 3 different missions, and when you get this campaign set, it will include a skill tree for each of the 5 characters. So basically, you'll be able to improve your major ability and your minor ability. So for example, the wizard can choose to spend an experience point they get playing a mission to improve their fireball, and they'll have 2 different choices on which way to go. And then if you have that higher level fireball, if you spend another experience, each of those has 2 different ways you can go from there to get to the highest level of fireball.
That's cool.
Channeling has the same thing. You can also spend experience to increase your health. There's a bunch of magic items. You get random ones when you play. So you'll be able to play through the campaign a bunch of different times and build a different character every time.
That's neat.
And the campaign missions vary from basically the choices you make in the campaign missions, and you're fighting different opponents and doing different things depending on the choices you make throughout the campaign. So
it's going to be solo or multiplayer?
Both. So basically, you can play by yourself or with your friends against against the game, and each mission that you play against, players gain experience, might find magic items. It'll improve your starting deck, so you'll get more and more powerful over time. The series is going to be a total of 21 encounters. The first box set has 3 encounters and everything you need to bring your characters through the campaign as a whole. Then the second set, which we're working on now, has 6 encounters in it, and the third and fourth will also have 6 encounters. For a total of 21 encounters, you'll be able to take your character through to bring them bring them all the way up in levels. So.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's super
really
fun.
cool. Now I have a personal question. It's going to kind of trump your Q&A over there, but.
You can have it, you get a Q, that's fine.
I get a Q&A, right? Any chance we can see a deluxe version of Hero Realms that include all the characters?
So, possible. Basically, one of the goals we had with Hero Realms is we wanted to make sure that people who play Star Realms could do it. And one of the great things about Star Realms is you don't have to be a gamer to play Star Realms.
Right.
Gamers love it, but they can also teach it to their uncle or their mom or their girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever who doesn't play games, and that person can get it and have fun playing.
Right, yeah.
So with Hero Realms, we intentionally made the box set fairly simple
Right.
and similar to Star Realms, so that those people could play it and
So
like it,
carryover, yeah.
and then bring in the cool stuff like the character packs and the campaign and
Mm-hmm.
such. Because like if you have a non-gamer friend and you're like, okay, we're going to play these characters, we're going through this multi-thing campaign, it's a little much for them. But if they play Hero Realms a few times, you know, with their base set, they're very comfortable, they're happy
Yeah.
with it. Maybe you can then bring
That's
in the
cool.
characters, and then
All right.
you know. So that was our thinking on the way we break it out, and
All
we
right.
try and give players a ton of value in the box. So for example, the $20 complete 4-player game of Hero Realms, most companies would charge $40 for that and put it in a bigger box.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
you know, so even if you have to buy all this stuff separately, the price is pretty
Understood.
reasonable.
Understood. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us out there. Thank you, Rob, for
Thank
joining
you
us
so
here.
much. I
We
appreciate it.
We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. All right. You can just take off your yeah.
I can't drum. I can do this though. And then you got this one, the. How you doing, Rob? Have a seat, please. I just have a couple of quick questions for you, really. And we're gonna use this mic. Yeah, thanks. All right, so our questions are very simple. Kickstarter for Sorcerer, is that correct?
Yep.
When is that going to be?
So a few months-ish. Basically, Kickstarters, there's a lot of work putting them together. We need to make sure we get the playthrough videos and that they look, they look good and people can understand the game from them. So, there's a lot of visual components you need to put together and make sure.
So a few months out still,
Yeah, it's
though.
still a few months out.
Okay.
And it might be slightly earlier, it might be slightly later. Basically, it's ready when it's ready.
Ready when it's ready.
Yeah.
Right. All right, and then one more question, just sort of like an overview question. Folks were wondering if, with all the cool themes you come up with, if there were any plans in the works, or if you had looked into doing a bigger production as opposed to a card game.
So, Sorcerer is in that line of a bigger
It's
production.
sort of a step in that direction,
So basically, Sorcerer has boards, it has dice, it does have a lot of cards as well. But
I think they were like hoping for like a miniatures kind of,
Sure. I love miniature games. I've been playing miniature games since the 1980s, so it's something that we've definitely looked at. So designing miniature games is not an issue. Like I like them. I've designed rules in that category and games in that category. But there's a lot of components to figure out and production issues to figure out. So it is definitely something that we're interested in and have looked at. And we've got some cool worlds, like a miniature game in the Star Realms universe.
I think that's what they were kind of latching on to.
Would be sweet.
Yes.
And,
so is this something you think you might work your way up to?
Well, it's
I
something.
mean, you are, like you said, doing bigger productions, and so
it's
stepping
definitely
stones
something
to
that we've been looking at, both as like the potential for doing like a spaceship combat miniatures game and a ground combat in the world of Star Realms, and basically a planet side battles game. So like that is a very long time off in that where it's the kind of thing we've been talking around the office and kicking around ideas for, but there's we take our time designing games, and we want to make sure that if we put something out there, it's super high quality and it's a game that's going to last and people are going to want to play it again and again. So nothing you can look for anytime, like certainly not this year, but yeah, it is something that we thought about, and it's really it's conceptually super cool. But if we do it, we want to make sure highest end visuals on the highest end models, and and of course highest end gameplay. So
yeah. For now, Sorcerer, in a few months when it's ready, on Kickstarter.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Good
Thank you.
talking to you. Thanks very much for all the info, all the chat. Go have some fun, man.
Nice.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome everyone. We are here, the dice. I was too early.
We're still prepping graphics.
Oh, we're still live. Okay, I was ahead of the game. Is the mic placement okay? For Ryan. Can you say something, Ryan?
Hey, how's it going?
Did you hear his
Can you
voice?
hear me?
That's fantastic.
Oh, great.
Okay, I put it a bit closer because Ryan is much more soft-spoken than I am, so I'm a little abrasive.
Okay.
All right. Ooh,
Yeah,
I see
great.
something I like.
Okay, so
So yeah, basically I'm just going to ask you, a few questions about what's upcoming. You're going to tell me a little bit about the game, how it plays, because I know everyone's dying to know.
Yeah.
More of the Q&A, people will have questions there. For this is
Yeah.
more you're giving me like a synopsis. I may ask you a few questions pertaining to the game, but nothing like crazy hard hitting. Yeah, it's
Okay.
more for here for you to show me what you have.
Okay.
So I guess we're going to start with this one, and then we'll move on to Empire
yeah,
versus the
just a
Void 2.
quick kind of overview.
Absolutely.
Sort of what it is.
You're
Yeah.
guiding it. I'm just here to kind of help you.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so those you may have to kind of just like put on the...
Just put on the board.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You ready?
Okay. Yeah. Good to go.
Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our GAMA coverage 2017 with the Dice Tower. I'm Mandy, also known as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl. I'm here with Ryan Lockett of Red Raven Games, and oh my goodness, I am excited. What have you got for us? Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I have here Near and Far, and this is a final copy.
This is final?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I backed this, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, so let me show you the box
Yeah.
here. I'll just put that.
So we're gonna actually do it
yeah.
this way.
Yep.
Doopy
Oh,
doopy doop.
right. of
I
course.
know. Make things confusing for you, so I think they can get a nice
Yeah.
view of that. Perfect.
Awesome. So, Near and Far, if you're not familiar with it, it is a story adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a sequel to Above and Below, and in Above and Below you build up your own village and you explore the caverns and read out of a book of stories.
Right.
And you'll make a cool tale every time you play. So this has the same idea, but in this one you're on an epic journey.
Okay.
So the cool thing is, so you'll pick one of these characters, and there are a whole bunch of characters, and they'll have their own unique stories, by the way, actually, in the book that you can experience.
Fantastic.
So in the game, you'll be journeying through these different maps. Now, the game doesn't come with just one board. It comes with a book, an atlas.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so your first game, you'll play this map,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next game, you'll go to this
Something
one,
different.
and there are all these things you can explore, this whole world. And now each of these places, when you're exploring, they have their own paragraph. So you'll say, wow, this looks like a really cool place. I want to see what's over there. So you really get that immersion.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll move your guy over there, and then we'll open this book.
Okay, so
say
look.
what's on Hogtown.
Okay, now I'm
right?
interested to find out what's
Yeah.
in Hogtown.
We'll open the book.
Okay.
To 48.
Okay, 48.
Yeah, and the player to your left will read it to you.
Oh, would that be me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
You wanna read it?
exciting. Yes, can I read
Okay.
it just a little bit?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
This is a short one.
Yay!
Okay. So.
Okay. So I get to read this first
Yep,
part, right?
yep.
So you recognize a hogfolk city before you and decide to go in. The merchants in the street offer rare meteorite artifacts for sale.
Cool.
Oh, that's exciting.
So
Okay.
I get two choices.
Okay, so now do I read all
yeah,
of
go
this?
ahead and read the bold.
The bold. Okay, so skill 7, spend the day searching for treasures.
Yeah.
And then do I continue here?
And then you can go down here where
Okay.
it says skill 5.
Skill 5,
Yeah.
buy a small trinket and head for the pub.
Okay. So I get to say, well, what am I going to do at Hogtown today? Well, I'm going to spend the day searching for treasures, I think.
That's a smart idea. Okay, so if you do that, then do I continue to read?
And then I'll roll a die and see
Right.
if I succeed, and then you'll tell me what happens.
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
I'd read here, after rummaging through almost every stall, you find a number of valuable artifacts. Thanks to your talent for persuasion, you get them at a great price, too.
Awesome.
And then?
So I get a yellow faction, which
Mhm.
means, now there are 4 factions that live in this world, and there are different, you can gain reputation with each faction.
Okay.
So the yellow faction is they're the,
Do we have one?
let's see, I'm trying to see if I have one to show.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the nomads.
Okay, that's fine. So the nomads, we can
Yep,
understand that,
they-
yeah.
Yep. And then I get a coin, I get to draw an artifact card.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
artifact cards are these awesome treasures that you'll be finding throughout your journey.
Oh, neat.
And they give you special abilities, and some require that you have a certain reputation. But these are sort of your long-term goals. Like here's a sword and it helps you fight better. Here's a statue, it's a talking statue.
Oh, neat.
And it increases your skills, so I guess it gives you advice as you're walking along.
Which is always good.
Yeah, and then there's like a pistol. And now in this one I have to have a negative reputation. I guess firearms sort of have a bad rap in this world. So
So maybe when you do your Q&A, maybe you can do like a little close-up of those cards.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, so then basically follow what's stated here.
Right. Now, one cool thing that's new in this compared to Above and Below is is a lot of these paragraphs. They're in sort of a tree. There's like a decision tree. So you'll have a first paragraph like this, and then maybe it'll, depending on what I choose, I'll get a side quest. And so I'll keep traveling, and then later I'll have a new paragraph that's related to what I did in the first one.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Oh, very neat. And it's very easy to follow. Like, I mean, if you follow it by reading the bold first, and then once you choose and reading it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's really easy to follow. That's fantastic.
Awesome. Now one cool thing is there's a campaign mode where you can go through each map one at a time, and you'll have a character card that you keep track of throughout each map.
Right.
And then, because the ultimate goal of this is to search for the last ruin.
Oh.
And that is a hidden mystical city that is, the legend says it'll grant your heart's greatest desire. So you'll find all sorts of crazy stuff at the end of the game.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm excited. And this comes in the, I think I backed whatever the highest I did in deluxe. I always go deluxe, but that's the one this is what comes with it.
Yeah, and in
fantastic.
fact, these gems will be in the retail edition too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Now, I noticed too, I also have Islebound, and I noticed that some of the, I don't know if it's the character cards, or you can use them in
Yes, you can.
all the
So
types
these
of games.
guys, on this side, they work in near and far, and then you flip them over, and they have stats that work in above and below.
It's above and below. Okay, so that's the one I was thinking. That's the only one I don't have.
Oh, yeah. Islebound does that same thing. So.
Right. Okay. Exactly. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I noticed here you have.
Yeah, this is your player board.
Player board. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll put treasures here, and like you'll get a pack bird to help hold some of your stuff,
cute.
and keep track of your hearts and your party members. Yeah.
I love the art, and it's very like we always know your games, which I think is a great thing. So it's beautiful. Yeah. Okay, very nice.
Awesome. So I have one other thing I want to talk about really quick.
Yeah, no, don't rush. It's okay. You've got some time, so slide it over to me.
Slide that over.
Exactly.
Okay, so currently we are on Kickstarter. We have a game, Empires of the Void 2.
It starred on my list.
So this is a sequel to my first published game, Empires of the Void 1.
That's right.
Yeah. So here's let me get,
okay.
I brought a few homemade printed
oh my goodness.
components here, so this is definitely prototype quality.
No, that's okay. The colors are great.
Yeah, thank you. So here's the board, all right? And at the start of the game, you get to take these planets and you can make your own setup. So these will be in different places. Now all these planets, they have their own people that live there, they have their own story, and there are event cards that you'll play in the game. So every planet has their own set of event cards, and these sort of tell a story about each planet.
Okay.
So this one is on Sentina. You know, an invasion happens, and you have to go help them, and if you help them out, then they'll become your ally.
Okay.
And then on Measle 3 is sort of a factory kind of economy planet. It's sort of a cyberpunk setting.
Oh, neat.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're allied with Measle 3, then you could recruit these agents, and they have the hacking ability. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then there are a whole bunch of other planets.
Oh, neat. And I noticed that you have them, so it's easy to know, like, place them on the map. Like I noticed you seem to have little
there's
circles.
little circles, yeah.
So it'll kind of guide you where to
and
place
you kind
them.
of guide them. Now you can actually start with these face down, so there's sort of an exploration mode too, if you want to do that. There's like 2 ways to play. So, yeah, and then this whole deck of cards have all these crazy cool events that sort of help us tell the story about this setting.
Right. Now, are these places for the actual cards to sit,
Yeah,
and
so
then when you visit, you get those cards?
No, so normally you'll play cards that have to do with the planet, but sometimes you'll draw an event. And if you draw an event, it goes on that card spot.
Understood.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
And all these cards are going to have tons of beautiful illustrations that sort of show you what's going on in the event. And yeah.
Oh my gosh, can I tell you? I was like, this game's not going to be good. I don't need to back this. Oh, it's another one that I think I'm going to have to back. Oh, thank you so much for showing. Is there any, so this one's on Kickstarter right now?
It is, yeah, and we have a gameplay video. You can totally check it out and learn more about how to play and all the things that we've added to the game.
And near and far, I know the Kickstarter's passed because I know it's coming soon-ish,
Yeah,
right?
it should be available retail in May or June.
May or June. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. All right, perfect. So is there anything else that you wanted to let us know before you head over to Q&A?
No, that's it for now.
That's it? All right, thank you so much for joining us. I'm super stoked. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye. No, seriously, this is awesome.
Hey, thanks.
It's so pretty.
We'll kind of clean it up.
Yeah, so you head over, dear. And you have to leave.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Got some questions for Ryan. Writing them down. We'll ask as many as we can as we set up for our next guest. Thank you for all those. We added it so they can see what's up next. We see it. We see it. Hi, Ryan.
Hey.
This is for you.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Great.
Good. Let's get right to it. A couple of questions about above and below. Near and far.
Yeah.
How does it relate to above and below? Do you need to have played above and below?
You don't.
Okay.
So it is a sequel, and it takes place in the story. It takes place after
Okay.
Above and Below. The idea is some of the people that are in the village you built, they get this, desire to go out adventuring, and they hear about this lost city. And so at the very first map, you'll see the little town that you built in the first game.
Okay.
But as far as you really don't need to play the first one. Maybe you'll get a kick out of seeing some things cross over.
Right.
But
How does the storybook integrate into this game versus above and below? Is it a larger part? Is it about the same part?
So the storybook, I would say it's a little bit larger. It's more important to the game. The stories are a little more involved too. Now, one cool thing is if you have a character, you can do a sort of a story mode about the character, and you'll just be reading stories about that character, and they're all connected. And depending on the choices you make, you'll have a different ending. So that's one cool thing, because the stories in Above and Below, they're not connected.
Right.
It's sort of an emergent sort of a story that happens. But in Near and Far, a lot of them are connected.
They're asking you to move the mic a little closer so they can hear you better.
Yep.
Have you considered app support for the storytelling games?
I have, and worked a little bit on that, but I can't say much more about that yet.
Good. Any news on Klondike Rush? I know you have it here at GAMA. Is there anything you can share about details on that one right now?
I can say it'll be released in August at Gen Con. It's our first game that has plastic miniatures in it. It's a fun game, 2 to 5 players. It's sort of a gold rush setting. You're going up north trying to find gold, and there's a bidding and stock aspect to it, and then there's sort of a route building aspect as well. You're building mines in different routes, but there's this snow monster. There's like a wild monster that you're hunting down at the same time, and if you hunt it down, then you'll get a big reward at the end.
Awesome. Quickly, any future expansions for City of Iron?
Yes, I have in mind to do the second edition of the Experts in Engines expansion. So that could happen. I don't have a date on that though.
Folks asking about Haven.
Haven, yes. Haven is definitely on the to-do list.
Okay.
It's I can't give a release date, but it's next in line. I can say that.
All right.
And it's fairly far along as well. So.
A couple of art questions. Empires of the Void 2. The planets start out flipped over on their backside. You don't know where they are yet, or are they always face up?
There are 2 modes. So there's one mode where they're all revealed, and you just start out knowing everything, or you can put them all face down and reveal them one at a time.
So what sort of art is on the backside of the planets?
It'll be just a sort of space.
Just a star field.
Yeah, star field.
Okay.
Yep.
And a few people wanted to get a closer look at some of these cards. If we could zoom in on a couple.
Yeah.
These are the planets,
So
or these are events?
These are action cards, and well, some are events and some are action cards. So, like this is an event.
So we got.
Yeah.
Want to get a different.
A few, yeah. So the event card once you draw it, you immediately play it, and it affects the game. It changes the rules. In this one, it's the merchant guild forms, and so it allows you to purchase goods and do different things, and sometimes it'll be quite a big effect. Like invaders come and you have to deal with them, or there'll be a timer and a planet might get destroyed if you don't take care of something before it runs out. So
Do we have some? These are near and far.
Yeah, these are near and far cards that I brought over just in case.
Some items as well.
Yeah, these are different artifacts that you'll pick up. Yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
And I think that's just about it. Although I'm sure people have more questions. Where do they track you down if they want to know more?
Yeah. So follow us on Twitter at Red Raven Game. Just one game.
Red Raven Game. Okay.
Or you can visit our website. There's email information on there, or visit our Kickstarter that we're currently running, Empires of the Void 2, and we're having lots of discussions there. So
awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And thank you for your questions. Let's kick it back to the main desk.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So we highlighted something for you, but don't go yet.
David or David?
David is fine.
David? Okay.
Yeah.
You would not normally expect. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we even have like this by and just start
Okay. Perfect. So, guys, we are back. GAMA 2017 with the Dice Tower. I'm Mandy, the board gaming pinup girl, and I am here with DeVere Games, David Esprit. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I see we have a lot of good stuff here. So let's jump right in. What do we have first?
Okay, this game here, it's Fan Hunter Urban Warfare.
Okay.
This is a player versus player miniatures board game. But before getting into the game, I will tell you a little bit about the background.
That's perfect.
Because we expect to be launching a few more games based on this same franchise during the next few months/years.
Okay.
So the story is it's set in the near future, where this guy proclaimed himself like Pope and the dictator. So he wants to keep all the population on board in order to control them.
Uh-oh.
So in order to do that, he's banned all the cool stuff. Comics, games, movies, music, everything that we like. So essentially, all the fans, all the nerds rebel against that.
I like it.
So this is the revolution of the nerds. And they fight the power back.
Okay.
Everything they know about guerrilla fighting, close combat, and everything else they learned by playing Call of Duty, playing Dungeons and Dragons,
Right.
reading Spider-Man comics.
Cool.
So that's everything they know about, and that's how they fight the power back.
Oh, that is a very neat story.
Yeah, and so we hope that all the players relate to the concept, because we're playing this game and we're the protagonists of this story.
The nerds rise up. I love it.
So essentially this, as I said, this is a player versus player game.
Okay.
It's mainly scenario based. So we're going to have in that rule book over there, we're going to have a set of scenarios here at the back.
We'll do that now.
Yeah, in which players will keep advancing from one to the other in a narrative fashion.
Okay.
So whatever happens in one scenario affects the way the other one is played. And there's plenty of game hours in this game, because there's up to 8 different scenarios.
Oh, wow. So on average, how long or how much gameplay would you get out of?
Well, it's hard to say, because some of them are shorter and more faster and violent than the others. But usually you can get up to, like, a really quick one would be like half an hour to an hour. Okay. And then like a real big battle, like the final standoff, it's probably going to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah.
Well, that's still a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. So the concept of the game, it's very accessible for new people who's not used to playing these sort of games.
Right.
But at the same time, we've given as many tools as we can to the veteran players to own the game.
Right.
So they're going to have rules to set up their own scenarios. You know, if they want to play like a regular war game with a tape and everything, they can do that. They can set up their own factions, because they have like a points value here. So and this is it. So we try to make it as modular as possible, and as accessible as possible.
Which is really important for a lot of people. So tell me about these cards here.
Okay, this is the stats value of the different units. So there's going to be like the classic movement value, long range attack value, defense value. Defense value. And the concept of the gameplay is really fast and simple in that case. So in a competition, both parties will roll their dice.
Okay.
Whomever gets more successes just wins that action.
Right.
We're going to complicate that with a lot of special abilities and different options that as players progress in their experience, they will learn more about the way the game is played.
Okay.
And in this case, we are presenting the game for the first time internationally at the UK Game Expo in Birmingham.
Oh, fantastic.
And right after that at Origins, and then of course Gen Con.
Okay.
So anyone attending these events will be able to play the game, have a look at the miniatures up close,
Right.
and play some games.
So as you see, there are miniatures. I know it's kind of hard to see. Maybe during the Q&A you can bring those over. We can get a nicer
Sure,
look at that.
absolutely, yeah.
Fantastic. So I know you said you had something else that you wanted to show us as well.
Yeah.
So you can bring that in. I'm going to slide
Okay.
these over here.
And we can kick the minis out.
Bye, minis.
And the other game we have right now, it's Fast Food Fear.
Ooh, food.
This is a game. It will be out by Gen Con tentatively, so
Okay.
we expect to be out by then. And this is a fast reaction game. It's a card game, so I'm gonna get into detail
Slide that up there. No, please
in a
do.
minute.
Looks delicious.
And in this game, players, they work in a fast food restaurant in the land of the monsters. So monsters are hungry and they're always in a hurry. So we need to be able to serve these customers as fast as possible.
They're eating food, right? Not the
Yeah.
okay, just making sure it's not the people.
No, I mean, if we're late, they made up eating us. But
okay.
let's make sure that they get their hot dogs and fries and whatever. So we're going to have a list of customers set in line. It's depending on the number of players plus one. So
Right.
let's say we're playing 3 people. It's going to be 4 monsters.
Okay.
Half of them will be covered.
Okay.
So each player is going to have a hand of 6 cards.
Okay.
And then, as I said, this is a fast reaction game, so we're going to have to take care of all these customers within the 2 minutes mark.
Oh, wow.
But also, this is a cooperative game, so we're all working together in order to take care of the customers.
Okay.
So players can do 3 different things during their turn.
Okay.
One of them would be to discard a card that they don't need in order to get another one.
Right.
They can, if they have all the items required to take care of a customer, they can play them all in one go.
Okay.
In order to take this guy
2,
out.
Right.
But it's hard to have all these combinations from the get-go.
Right.
So they're gonna have to talk, and they're gonna have to trade cards, and people will be shouting, "I need a hamburger! I need a hamburger! Or I need a drink!"
So it can get loud.
So yeah, it's gonna be loud.
Okay.
So the other thing they can do is play these special action cards that will allow them to shift cards around
Okay.
and make sure that they can get the right combination on time.
Right.
And also time management is going to be really important because so that's why we're going to have this card here that allows us to turn the clock back around.
Okay.
And
Gives you more time to obtain what you need. Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds really fun. And how long does that play in about?
Well, it depends, but it's supposed to be really fast because you only have 2 minutes
Okay.
to take care of that. So usually a game plays in 8 to 12 minutes.
Oh, okay, so it's shorter.
So yeah, you can play a lot of games in a little time, and it's very hysterical. It's very ridiculous. It's very funny as well.
Very cute.
Yeah.
And what's the age range on this game?
We're aiming to 8 years upwards.
Okay.
And you can play 3 to 6 players. And again, as I said, this is we're aiming for a Gen Con release on this one.
Gen Con release for this one. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is any potential for later on maybe adding some more things to it, or it's just kind of a.
Well, we're thinking as a one-off thing,
Right.
And but of course, if this is successful, we will continue feeding the monster.
Of course, they're hungry.
Yeah. And but in the case of Fan Hunter that we saw before, we expect to expand that universe and that collection of miniatures in the following years for sure.
Any variants in this game at all, or it's literally strictly just what you've shown us here? That's how
it
it's
is here, but there's options for making it more easier if you're playing with children, or if you think it's too tough. But once you get the hang of it, you will want to make it a bit more complicated. So we've got that covered as well.
Oh, perfect. I think it's a really fun, quick game.
It's very modular in that sense.
Excellent. So were these the two you had first, or did you have any more to show us?
No, we're with these two today.
We covered them all. That's fantastic. So is there anything else you wanted to let anyone else know about games upcoming? I think you kind of covered all the release dates.
Yeah, we're with these two before the summer, but we expect to have another board game after the summer, by September, October, which is called Michael Strogoff, based on the Jules Verne's novel.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be a light Euro game, card-driven, that it's getting a very good reception so far.
Oh, fantastic. Glad to hear that. I like Euros myself, so.
All right. Cool.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And guys, get those questions ready for Q&A.
All right.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Hello. So we're going to try and get another look at those minis. I think get a close-up of those for sure for a Fan Hunter. And I want to know more about the franchise, about the IP. Hello there. First off, we need to get a closer look at these minis. So I'm gonna trade you, hand you your microphone.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold up a couple of these guys. Can you tell me a little bit more about what Fan Hunter is outside of this game?
Okay. Well, Fan Hunter is based on a comic book franchise that's it's pretty popular in Spain, and we are taking this over to on a global scale. So as I said before, the concept is should be very close to everyone who's ever played a game, who's ever read a comic book, because we will be the main characters in this game.
Who created the comic?
The comic is created by Cels Piñol. It's a Spanish comic book artist, and well, he's been publishing this comic for the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. But we're presenting the whole package, the games package, completely fresh. So it doesn't really matter if you've read a single page of this comic book, because we're giving all the information of the setting from the get-go in the games that we will be putting out in the next few years.
A name popped up in the chat that I'm not familiar with. Chema Pamundi?
Yeah.
Is that someone who's involved in this, or someone that's done a previous incarnation of the game?
Well, Chema is the designer of the first role-playing game based on this franchise.
Gotcha.
It was, back in the day, it was the best-selling Spanish role-playing game ever made.
Okay.
And it was highly popular. Chema is actually working on the role-playing game right now.
Ah.
So we're relaunching that at some point.
Okay.
And we will be doing that in English as well, of course. But he's so focused on that, so he's not involved in the miniature games.
So he's working on the franchise, just not in this particular.
Not in this brand, but in the franchise for sure.
Is the game two-player only?
At this moment, yes, but we will be putting out a lot of support online. So one of the first things that we're going to have, it's like 4 scenarios and more options for people to build up their own games. So if they want to play more people, they will be able to do that.
With the cards you were showing, is that final art for the game, or are you still working on that?
For Fast Food Fear?
Actually, they just, the chat didn't say which game they were talking about. Let's talk about both.
No, the card game, well, both of them, they're final.
Yep.
They're prototypes because they're actually being printed as we speak.
Okay.
But yeah, both of them, the product is final.
Yep. Age range for Fast Food Fear, how young can you play that?
We're suggesting 8 years and up. So there's an option in the game to make it more accessible if needed, but 8 years and up should be fine.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, David, for spending some time with us.
Thank you for
and
having
for
us.
spending some time with the chat. Thank you, everybody, for your questions.
Thank you.
And we'll kick it back over.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
And those are yours. I won't take them.
All right.
They're adorable, though.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, we're with GAMA 2017 with the Dice Tower in Las Vegas. I know, exciting. So I know, that was great. Thank you for that. So we're here with GreenBrier Games and look at some crazy zombie stuff. I'm excited.
Not another zombie game.
But it's going to be awesome, right?
It is. Because it is awesome.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. And let's dive right in. I just like to get right to it.
Awesome. All right. So this is our revision, ZPOC 2, our reboot. So our first one came out in 2011. Mm-hmm. We loved it. It was our baby. This is the revision based on what our fans really liked and gave us feedback about and what they thought could be better. So you're still in the world of the zombie apocalypse. In the first game, you were in the city. Now you're out in the suburbs. So you've made your way out. Some of the characters made it from the urban, and some are new and have been in the suburbs, a little bit more sheltered. And what you're doing is you're using your survivors as a resource.
Okay.
So you have a squad, everybody else has a squad, you manage your team.
So this is one setup for one player?
Correct.
Okay.
And so your stats are tracked here for each of the survivors.
Can I just say, this is wonderful.
Isn't it?
No, I'm serious.
Makes it so much easier.
Well, I'm not making mistakes, hitting it. Oh, I don't know what it is. It's a night. Anyway, I just have to say that detail is
Thank you.
Well
Thank you
noticed.
very much. We try. So you there's a day phase and a night phase. Mm-hmm. Day is your building your community. So you go out and scavenge, find food and supplies, find more people, try to recruit them.
So I'm going to pull these down a bit because I think these might be off screen a touch.
No.
That's okay. So food are those ones, supplies, and during your Q&A you can even pull those up a bit closer.
And of course, additional weapons.
Okay.
Thematic because you're in the suburbs, so you have things like golf clubs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Makes a really good weapon. So you're doing that during the day. You're scavenging. You're building up your defenses, crafting. There's different objectives for each chapter. So for the first one, for example, you're trying to rebuild the truck so that you can travel out further and try to find more people, survivors. So you're using those skills. And each of the survivors has different level of abilities and the different skills.
So that's the ones listed here.
The stats on the bottom.
Okay,
right.
perfect.
So you're doing things like that during the day, and you're doing things like guarding your base, which mitigates how many zombies accumulate, or at least trying to. At nighttime, it's your combat phase. Combat is partly determined by the scenario, partly determined by how many zombies you attracted when you were out in the world.
Right.
And then during combat, you are rolling the dice. And what you can do is, and this is something that was a little bit different, you're adding up the dice to spend. So you can move 4, and then this golf club costs 6 to hit.
Okay. Is
So
that blood splatter?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Well, actually, they're bullets.
Oh, they're bullets, okay.
Bullets. Or bullet holes, as it were. So you're doing that, and you're trying to achieve a goal while never accumulating a mass, or overwhelming mass of zombies. Now, there's some other cool little things, like if you get hit, you can have different kinds of wounds that can hurt you, but also you can level up, and your leveling up can be skills and training, but it also can be mutations. So you're getting kind of superpowers. Sometimes they're at a deficit, but then also the zombies can mutate and they become more powerful as well.
Oh, so it's good for you and not so good for you at the same time.
Very good. Yeah.
And so these are the ones that come out. I'm assuming these are different. Are these players or?
So these, this is your squad.
Okay.
These are fresh zombies, and these are slightly older zombies, so they're easy to kill. These are harder to kill, and of course, he's the hardest. And so you have your stats that you can
use
count
on
down.
to figure that out. Oh, fantastic. And I notice you have some other colored dice here.
Yes, so this is if you have ammo.
Okay.
So you're rolling to see if you run out. And of course, if you need to resolve any sort of one-offs, you use those so that you're not getting confused with your action dice.
Okay, so this game, it plays, what's the player count?
The 2 to 5 players.
Okay, how long does it play?
The scenarios kind of vary, but about 2 hours. If you're combat is about 20 minutes, and then it depends, it really does depend on how co-op you choose to be or not.
I was just about to ask you that.
So if you're being really almost like a campaign and you're all working together to rebuild the truck, you might all find the components and pull them all together in a community cache, and you're doing great. If not, maybe it takes a little longer, or maybe some people die off.
Yeah, that's possible. It's zombies. Of course that could happen.
Right.
I notice you have some other little tokens.
Yep, so these are some of the things that you can build. So you have a lookout tower that you can put in place, or a sand trap. So these are going to, when the zombies come at night at combat, they're going to mitigate the attack.
Okay, so that's when we're going to have to do some rolling, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And can the board be increased in size?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we have, the board is extendable and it's also double-sided, so that you have different scenarios and different things that you can do with them.
And then the way they're maneuvered, does that make a difference? If it's sitting here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, okay, so it will affect the gameplay slightly. Oh, that's fantastic.
So, and there's 4 storylines in the core game that are basically geared towards a storyline of trying to go and explore the world and try to find other people. Whether you find them or not, and whether finding them is a good thing or not,
that's another story.
You have to find out for yourself.
And expansions or?
Yes, the Wasteland expansion is also, so that will more maps, more stories, and more extremes of the goods and the bads.
Oh, okay. So
add a little bit more Mad Max to the zombie world.
Right. An increase of difficulty as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. That always happens. And any new characters coming into the game?
Yes, there are a few new characters, and they are rather frightening, above and beyond your
But we have here, and this is frightening. But in a good way.
Yeah, but in a good way.
And availability of this game?
It will be coming out in several weeks.
Several weeks, okay, so soonish.
Soonish,
so keep your eye out for this one.
Yep.
Okay, so I know you brought something else, so.
I did.
Let's slide this over. I'm gonna do a quick little, and if you want to, when you do your Q&A, maybe I know people like their miniatures and little bits like that, so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Potentially you can show that off. Yeah, so we're gonna quickly try and pull out a few bits for you to see.
So, yeah, we're gonna do this fast.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna just slide this over here.
All right, so this is Of Dreams and Shadows. Now, the designer for this, he cut his teeth on MMOs and play testing them.
Okay.
So it definitely, you can tell it has that kind of a feel to it. You are an adventurer on a quest, and so each player picks a hero to play, and so their hero has a backstory, lots of flavor, lots of development of the world, or world, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
World building. And broad strokes, there's 2 acts. The first, and each one has 5 rounds, or potentially 5 rounds.
Okay.
In the first act, you are questing. The boss that you choose, let's find him.
Okay.
There he is.
All right.
So you would choose a boss, you would choose a character, and then you're going around the world. The boss during the first act is, he's mitigating the board, he's sending out his minions, he's setting out traps, he's trying to make it more difficult for you, but he's in the background.
Okay.
You have to choose whether you're doing things to build up your character or mitigate the things that he has set out.
Okay.
So it is much like you're traveling the land, having adventures to build up your abilities to then, during Act 2, actually take on the big boss.
So definitely you want to get this, your
Yes.
abilities up to as high as possible.
Absolutely. So there are a number of different things that you can do to make that happen. And of course there's a number of things that he can do to try to defeat you.
So these ones here.
Yep. Just to give, and each one, and the first act, lots of flavor, lots of storyline, a lot of immersion into the world, and then in the second part, it is going for the jugular.
Which I like that though,
Right.
but it's like a build up.
Right. So, in addition to being able to say, you know, you're getting your experience, but you can also do things like take on harder challenges. To if you fail, that's terrible. But if you actually get the reward, it weakens his abilities when you get to the final fight. So you are trying to determine what your approach is to taking on the big boss in the
And
end.
depending on your approach will kind of change the variability, like the end scenario. Okay, I was worried it would be the.
No. And of course, each of the characters not only having their own storyline, but also having their own stats, having a very different feel for each player. So there's 10 of these. There's 3 bosses, and it's beautiful.
It is very nice,
and it's very immersive in the world of it.
Fantastic. And so, when is Dreams and Shadows available?
Of Dreams and Shadows is available as soon as. So we had some. The rulebook, the font was very, very small.
Okay.
So we are reprinting and repackaging it. So as soon as they are repackaged, it will be available because it's already here and waiting.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's coming. And quickly running the line, age, time. How does this play?
So this is the acts are depending on how fast you go. So it can be up to 150 minutes, 2 to 6 players, and it is 14 plus. It's for grown-ups.
It's for grown-ups.
It's for grown-ups. The characters are grown-up characters.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful stuff that you're showing us. If you have more questions, get them in the Q&A. And that's it for now. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. Bye. Awesome. Thanks so much. I hope that went okay for you. Got out what you wanted to say. This is very pretty.
It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Very, very nice. This looks fun.
I'm just going to be like, you described it all wrong.
No, it's fine. Honestly, and people will ask when you're sitting there. We'll ask questions.
Hey, how's it going? Got a couple quick questions that we'll get to as soon as we can. Hello there.
Oh, hi.
Come on over.
Hi.
I'm Eric. How's it going? Hi, Julie. This is for you.
This is for me.
I'll
These are
trade
for you.
you, and we can show off some of these guys.
Cool.
Because they're fun to look at. So, Defend the Burbs.
Yeah.
People were asking about a solo possibility. Can you play it solo?
You can, because a lot of the challenge comes from that tension of working together, but there's no reason that you couldn't play with your own squad independently. Okay. Everything scales.
Now I saw a version 2 on the box. Is it a
Yes.
standalone game or is it an
It is
expansion?
absolutely a standard. So it's
Okay.
a reboot of the original game.
All right.
So there's a lot of the components are backward compatible. The characters' stats are slightly different because we went from a more tabletop game to a more RPG feel.
Okay.
We do have the availability on our website that if you really if you played the original game and you really love a character, how to change the stats to make them compatible in this world.
You could adjust them, but it is its own thing.
It's its own entity. Yes.
New sort of a reboot of Zpocalypse.
Yes.
So beyond the modular board, what other levers and switches can change from scenario to scenario? What other differences make
Well, you
the game
start
different?
off with the characters that have been in the suburbs. They're not as experienced. They are struggling a little bit harder, and their weapons aren't as honed because they haven't had as much reason to fight. So you start off, and it's a lot more of a challenge to get through the day. You recruit more experienced players. You get things like mutations, which are actually superpowers, where you can eat anything, or you're faster, or you have night vision. So that happens. So on the other end, you start getting the boss monsters who are much harder to defeat.
Mm-hmm.
In the wastelands, it gets even more harder because, so for example, going out and searching, which is the part that I spent the most time on personally, so I know every storyline. Those go from being, you're not going too far away, it's not too difficult, to getting further out and being much more of an unknown, and sometimes encountering not just zombies, but other people who are not friendly.
Very quickly, you mentioned Wasteland. Are you expecting that at the same time as the main box?
Yes.
Okay, so the Wasteland expansion will be available. When is the release date for Defend the Burbs again?
The release date was
When would you like it to be?
It's April 19th. Well, it was supposed to be already. The problem was it was in customs.
Okay.
It is out of customs now, so April
Good.
19th.
And also, Dreams and Shadows price point. What are you looking at on that one?
It is $59.95.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you for your questions.
Thank you.
All right. Kick it back over there.
Coming to you, Manny.
And those are
It's good.
Clear.
Good. Okay. Yeah, just give me like a.
Yeah. Though, like I said, it's not the main focus of the game for sure. It's a little bit departure.
Hi everyone, we are the Dice Tower here at GAMA 2017 in Las Vegas. I'm Mandy, the Board Gaming Pinup Girl, and I am here with Daryl Andrews. We got a lot to show you. So first we're actually going to start off with a game from Turn 1 Gaming Supplies, and then we're going to move on to some games with CSE. All right.
That's right.
So give me I know we were talking a little bit, and you said this is their first game.
Yeah, that's right. So Turn 1 Gaming Supplies, most people are familiar with their accessories.
Right.
So like card sleeves, and they have fun dice and different things like that. And they have great play mats and such. And they decided, because they were already making card sleeves and play mats for Space Invaders, they inquired to do a dice game.
Oh, fantastic. And this
So-
one's Space Invaders Dice. That's
Pretty straightforward. It's going into that classic arcade game that everyone knows. I grew up playing it. I remember
Me
as a
too.
little kid just playing for hours.
Absolutely.
And so I was very excited when they came to me and asked me to make them a dice game. And so it's a roll and write game for 1 to 4 players.
Oh, Suzanne will love your life. She
Yes.
loves roll and write.
I'm very excited about Sue's getting to play this.
Yes.
So.
Shiner, she needs to see it. Okay, so walk me through it a little bit.
Yeah, so absolutely. So the nice thing is, right at the bottom of the pad that you write on, it just goes through the 5 steps. So the first thing you do is you roll the laser dice.
Okay.
Or actually, you just roll 2 of them.
Okay.
And then you add the sum value and you block that spot, and it's
Right.
like that laser's being shot up there. You roll a couple more, figure out that sum value, and then the last one you just roll by itself.
Right.
And block that spot as well.
And you do this as one player doing this at
Yeah,
a time?
so
and-
you're going to
okay.
do this for as many players. You're going to just do the same roll, and it'll block everyone's page.
okay.
If you're playing multiplayer, if you're playing multiplayer, then you're going to roll and then draft from these dice. However, if you're playing by yourself, then you get to select from them. Obviously, there's some dice that aren't going to work out to your favor. There's going to be some that have solid colors, and then also on these there are some dual colors, so you can
neat.
choose which thing you're
you
shooting at.
right.
You have to shoot up the different lanes, trying to eliminate the appropriate alien invaders.
Okay.
Space invaders coming down, and if you successfully shoot all the way through, you can actually then roll the special red die and score that value and add that to try to get your ultimate high score. However, whichever dice that you can't use, then you're actually going to have to scratch out additional spots, and as the space runs out, then your time runs out, and that's kind of simulating the idea that they're coming down on you.
They're coming down, that's exactly
So you're
it.
running out of space, and also every turn that you roll, you have to scratch out one of those red alien ships. So they're disappearing quickly
wow,
on you as well.
okay.
So you only have so many times. You can actually you can push your luck and re-roll some of the dice that don't work, but then you have to scratch out double for each dice that doesn't work out for you. So
Ooh, punishing.
you have to see if it's worth your while, and then just make sure you do a column check at the very end as you wipe things out. Then you actually have to check that out to see how you start to lose dice as time goes on
exactly.
as well.
So you want to get to it sooner rather than
So
later.
you want to get them eliminated as fast as you can. If you eliminate them all, you succeed. But then you can also compare your high scores against each person.
Right.
And if you're playing multiplayer, then obviously you're competing against the table.
Very fun. I like that. Suzanne's got me onto these games, so this will be one that I have to try.
Absolutely, yeah. It works great by yourself, so you can practice up before you play against her, and then see if you can beat her.
Perfect. And so how many players?
Yeah, so 1 to 4 actually, and it's available for pre-order right now from Turn 1's Gaming Supplies website, and it should be available in May.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, fantastic. So I know you got a couple more. Let's slide them over.
Yes.
So this is CSE games. And
CSE games.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Let's start with one.
So this one's gonna go like that.
This
there we
way,
go.
Right. So this game, Emblems, is a hat trick taking game.
Oh, whoa, whoa. NHL, couple Canadians in the house
Couple
here.
Canadians, that's right. So the thing here is we actually have the NHL license and it's the 100th anniversary.
Okay.
And so it's celebrating the different logos that are used by all the teams over the course of the 100-year history. So we have
neat.
cards all the way back from 1917 to the brand new Las Vegas team, which we're in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And 2017's new logo is even in the game. And the idea here is that you play...
My hometown, by the way.
Oh, there you
Calgary.
go. Perfect. And there's Vegas.
Perfect.
Had to get Vegas in
Yes.
there. So the idea here is that you have a hand of these different emblems from the NHL, and you play them, but you get to call the suit. And the neat thing is you can call different things, like you could call a color. And what happens is the color is actually representing how many times that color shows up in the logo.
Okay. Oh, neat.
So, for instance, I might call the Colorado Avalanche, and there are 7 different instances that gray shows up in that logo.
Oh my goodness.
So I might call gray and play this card, and now people have to try to play a logo that actually has more gray in it.
Right.
Or I might say the newest logo. Or I might say how many Stanley Cups they've won.
Right.
And so there's a few different ways that you can call the suit and then collect the cards as you win.
Oh, that's really smart.
So that's the NHL version that's coming out real soon. Also, there's a couple modular expansions already built into the box. There's power play cards.
Okay.
And overtime cards.
Okay, so I'll do that.
Oh, yep.
Yep, there we go.
And so the power play cards, the way they work is that you can actually score some extra points along the way. So normally you just score a point for every card that you collect.
Okay.
But along the way you might have, for instance, even though I might call red to follow suit, this card might be showing that says most Stanley Cups. And as a consolation prize, someone might then win 2 points for just playing the most Stanley Cup card.
Okay. And is that related to the amount that's on the bottom?
And so each one is worth 2 points, so we kind of emulate a little scoreboard there.
Okay.
That you've scored a couple more goals or a couple more points.
Oh, very fun.
So those are our power play cards that you can introduce once you're familiar with the game.
Right.
And then we also have overtime cards, and they're end scoring.
Okay.
So if you want to, for instance, collect logos that have orange in them, or so different colors or different things like we have one that's about animals. So if you collect all the ones that have animals in the logos, or acts of fury or nature. So different things like that are just built right into the cards, and then you can, if you want to have some long-term strategy of trying to collect the tricks that have certain attributes, you can use the overtime.
Oh, that's
cards
nice.
as
But
well.
you can play without.
You can play without
Right.
those. You can introduce them after you've played around and you want to add some complexity or
Then-
keep it simple.
Right.
And just play with the different emblems.
Okay, so quickly before we move on to the next one, age, how many people can play?
Yeah, I've played this with as young as 6-year-olds.
Oh, okay.
And it's a real simple thing to just say, like, follow the colors and the numbers.
Okay.
And we play up to 5 players.
Perfect. All right, so to end off, what's the last game that you have?
Yes, last one's actually hot off the press. This is my first time even seeing it, and that is fantasy football.
Okay, we can do that. Can take a look. I love football.
And so this is the second in the series. For the first one with J.R. Honeycutt and I, where we designed fantasy baseball. And so this one's actually coming out on Indiegogo at the end of this month.
Okay.
And we have the same artists involved, Rob Lundy. So we have some of the art here. This is actually a pre-release for reviewers to try to see, but some of the art on these cards, some are just silhouettes.
Right, so they haven't been completed.
But here's a few of the characters
neat.
that are coming out that are fantasy creatures. And the new twist here is that you still program your players for the different weeks. However, you play head-to-head. So the neat twist is, if I'm playing against you, we can match up our boards, and all of a sudden now we compete and compare our fantasy creatures each week and see if we can collect the most wins, which we have little football tokens.
Okay, so very thematic.
little football tokens. So you're trying to win the most football tokens to win the game. And also, the way the game works is everyone has 6 cards in their hand, or 6 cards. They program 4. They have 2 left in their hand, and they can use their magic abilities to cause a little chaos along the way. So, and then the other twist with football is we've introduced weather. So depending on the weather, it might affect some of the stats or some of the positions of the players.
Yes.
So.
Which I can attest to because I used to play football.
So that can really change things. So that's
the general idea of how
that's
the game
the general quick version of the game.
Perfect. Oh, thanks so much for showing that. So when is this available?
Yeah, so this is actually going to be on Indiegogo at the end of March.
End of March. We look for that, and this is fantasy
football.
I forgot that double fantasy. Perfect. So thanks so much for sharing. If you have questions for Q&A, I'm sure people will have lots about this one.
Great.
Send them over, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Cool. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rush you on that last one.
No.
Hi, everybody. I've been enjoying the discussion about classic arcade games and as well as favorite NHL teams and least favorite NHL teams. That seems to be what this chat has devolved into.
Okay.
You mentioned classic arcade games. I'm going to hand this to you.
Yes.
Classic arcade games. You
Yes.
mentioned NHL and football teams, and then
Yep.
that's just where the chat
And that's
went.
where it went.
So I have a couple of questions
Sure.
for you. Can you give us some examples of the types of creatures that are in fantasy football?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the fun part is coming up with all these different creatures. We have brand new creatures in football, so we didn't use any of the same that we had in baseball. So we
Okay.
have now, for instance, our quarterbacks might be wizards for the good ones, and then there are evil ones. So we have like warlocks as like the evil quarterbacks, or we have ogres on the defensive line,
Yeah.
or some pixie kickers, or just a variety of different kind of fantasy
Okay.
creatures in appropriate spots.
Yeah. Okay.
So just a real variety of creatures that people will see all the fun ones that JR and myself and Rob Lundy tried to brainstorm.
Space Invaders, how long does the game last?
Yeah, it's actually just 20 minutes to do like a sheet, and then you can play more than once if you want to try to beat your
MSRP
top score.
on that one?
Yeah, it's actually right now you can pre-order it, and I believe it's $16.99 and free shipping.
Okay.
If you order now.
And same question on fantasy football. What's the MSRP on that one?
I think that's still getting worked out.
Okay.
But like I said, I think it's March 28th. It'll be on Indiegogo, and that will obviously show the price then.
Excellent, Daryl. Thank you very much
Awesome.
for spurring such an interesting discussion.
Yeah, a little
the
variety.
chat. Yeah, very nice. Thank you for keeping that going, and have a great time here at GAMA.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for spending time with us.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Suzanne, pay attention. I'm like, no, I'm doing.
She's goofing around.
Oh, wait. John, what's your game name? Come, what's your name? I forgot.
Gatekeeper Games.
Thank you. Oh, geez, sorry about that. I know your name.
It's good.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dice Towers coverage here at GAMA 2017. Sitting with me right now is John Rott with an exclamation point from Gatekeeper Games. Welcome, John.
Thank you very much, Suzanne, for having us.
It's so nice to have you here. You brought a game and some cool other things. You're not wearing a microphone. Oh, you're not actually mic'd up. Let's do this. One moment, please. I'm going to touch you.
Yes.
Okay.
Touch me.
There we go. Okay. Is he mic'd up now? Okay.
Does that count? Are we good now? Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, let's start over.
We have to start all over?
Yes.
And the live stream's going to be like, ha ha.
Don't worry, they're already laughing.
We love you, live stream. That
thank
was
you.
totally on purpose,
Yeah, we
just
did,
for
yeah.
you. So you'd be
Yep.
like, make fun of us.
Yep. I want to see if you're paying attention. Twice. Gotta look fresh.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dice Towers live coverage here at GAMA 2017. Sitting with me right now is John Rott with an exclamation point from Gatekeeper Games. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Suzanne, for having me.
It's been so long since I've seen you.
I know. It's several minutes or seconds at least.
Well, thanks for coming and visiting us. I know that you brought a game and some other little things to look at, right?
Yeah, some pretty dice. We'll talk about those afterward.
I love pretty dice, but let's take a look at this awesome game.
All right, so this game is called Adapt. It's a mashup style card and dice game for 2 to 3 players, where you take mutant fish and then you battle to the death. All right.
All right.
So it's an absolute blast. So at the start of each game, you start with a humble guppy fish, like you can see here on the box cover, and that would be in the center of your body. We don't have time to set the whole thing up, but we'll go through like a kind of speed version
Sure, great.
here.
Let's take a look.
So inside the box, you have 3 whole sets of dice that are color-coded to the guppies. Okay, so you got your green, your blue, and your red. And you're going to use those as your leveling mechanism. So as your fish gets more powerful, you use a more powerful die for your attack. So you start with the D4, and then you'll jump to a D6, and then D8, D10, D12, and then you use the alternate D10 for percent chance that you'll have a status effect occur. Might have like a 2 in 10 chance of getting a certain effect.
Okay.
And the D20s are used to track your experience, which is the currency in the game, in order to buy parts from the gene stream.
Okay, so what are these effects? Like, let's get into it.
So we're gonna put a body on there. I'll just kind of go through here and pull out some things, so we can end up with a great white shark with the mouth of an orca, and we'll see what we get with a horn of a marlin, with the dorsal fin of a sailfish. With increased poison ability. We could replace the increased poison ability with lungs if we prefer.
Making the creature amphibious.
Amphibious, yes.
And honestly, if a shark with an orca head and a marlin horn came up onto land, I would be terrified.
Yeah. The fun thing is every single one of the cards are based on real fish or fish-like aquatic beings.
It looks quite
Dolphins
realistic.
are close enough. So, and then you can put poisonous lionfish side fins on the skin of a clownfish. So you got a great white shark that looks like a clownfish, so it sneaks up on you, have no idea what's about to happen to you. Increase the quantity of its cartilage, and heck, let's give it a dolphin tail for speed. Okay?
Wow.
So this is just one fish, one player map. So you're gonna have your own.
Yep.
And the deck's gonna sit in the middle between us, all right? And the cards are gonna flow down the gene stream, and we're gonna use that experience-based currency to draft cards from the gene stream and upgrade, say, you know what, I'm tired of the clownfish thing. That's only level 1 and only costs 2 experience. Let's jump to a level 2 skin. Let's cover myself in orca blubber so I'm harder to kill. All right, so you can replace those parts and adapt them and upgrade your body. Now I'm doing the same thing, you're doing the same thing, but we're sharing the deck, and every card in the deck is unique. So whatever I buy, you can't, and whatever you buy, I can't.
And I'm sorry, so every card in the deck is unique?
Every card.
How many unique things are there in this deck?
80.
Wow. Okay,
80,
so there's
yep.
a ton of traits to mix and match. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So it's 2 to 3 players, and so it gets even more complicated when there's 3 players because everybody's trying to steal each other's stuff, and I want to do this. Okay, well you're bioelectric, so I'm going to get orca blubber and all this sort of stuff that cancel and counter, and try to negotiate how you're best going to do that. So you're not only adapting your fish the whole game, you're also adapting your strategy because you think you're going to try something, and then Suzanne goes and steals the dolphin nose, so you can't get your ram bonus.
You know me so well. I would never do that. Okay.
So that's adapt in a nutshell.
That's really cool. Now, one uncommon thing about adapt is the player count. That is 2 to 3 players. So what was that? Just kind of like, who cares about 4? Who cares about or like what was the thought behind 2 to 3 players?
That's a great question. I try to make everything as authentic to the original idea that I've created it for. So people look at the box cover sometimes and they joke and they're like, fish, John. Fish? Couldn't you have like zombie parts or Cthulhu building or like giant robots? I designed the idea inside with fish in this game that would play in a smaller group, 2 to 3 player kind of filler. It's a medium weight filler to play in 20 to 40 minutes sort of thing. And I was like, no, I'm going forward with the fish, and I don't want to break the mechanics and the balance of the game to try to include that 4th player. If we want to do that, we can do that with expansions. And we do have expansions that are available to upgrade it all the way up to 6 players. And that's like Battle Royale, and you can do team play, that sort of thing. We call it Kingfish. So it's kind of like Magic the Gathering and Emperor, where you have one person sitting at the head of the table, and they have like their 2 guardians, and you have to kill their guardian fish before you can get to the kingfish. So
a lot more mechanically going on.
Yes, yeah.
Now, adapt, what's the MSRP on that?
It is $39.99.
And that is in stores now.
That is in stores right now.
Now, some people might say $39.95 for a card game, but I'd like to point out that now these dice all come in it, and these dice are gorgeous. And you have some pretty standard dice that you could use for other things.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
you want to talk to me a little bit about these dice? Because now with the game, you also get all these amazing dice, and those dice are something else that you've got going on.
Correct. So we'll talk about the details of these dice in a moment, but there are 3 of these dice cases that we're about to talk about. There's 3 full sets of polyhedral dice inside of Adapt, and these MSRP at $12 each. So you're getting $36 worth of dice inside of your game, and then for $4, you get a game too. So,
Gotcha.
so
Fair enough. Okay.
that's pretty awesome.
So let's take a quick look at
Sure.
the halvesies. Okay.
All right. So these are halvesies dice. They're full polyhedral sets. Let's start with this one. This is one of my favorites. Okay.
So pretty. Oh,
I know. So these are called Psionic Combat. I'll put them on the table so you can see them against the black there.
And you should bring them over so they can look at them a little closer up on the other camera later.
Okay, fantastic. So they're a nice half and half design. That's why we call them halvesies. They're 15% denser than the other dice that you're familiar with on the market. The leading competitor. We love those guys. We buy their dice too, but we made our dice more dense. The half and half design actually helps us to eliminate air bubbles. So they're actually they're a more dense, satisfying roll and a more balanced roll also. And we have a massive line of tons of different colors. I'll just dump them all out real fast so you can see them.
So a lot of color combos. They do feel great. They feel very polished, very high quality. And then obviously through your manufacturing process, you've done some things that you feel like has even notched up the quality of the kind of standard.
If you're going to jump into the dice market, you can't just show up with dice that are like, okay, these dice are authentically outstanding.
Well, awesome. John, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to see you. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks for
watching,
everyone.
And we'll see you soon. Bye. Lovely colors. I love these so much. They're gorgeous.
Hey everybody, we actually need to switch over to the next stream very quickly. So we have just one quick question for John when we get him over here. But then we're going to switch over very quickly. But as soon as he gets here, of course. How's your day going? Is it good? I mean, really, we haven't talked to you at all. Is it going all right? Just curious. I mean, you're sitting there. You've been watching this all day. We appreciate it. It's you know, we don't really get to check in with you and find out how you're doing. That's yeah. Is it good?
It's been a great time.
But oh hi.
Do you love how I just insert myself into the conversation?
Sure, why not? How's your day going?
It's great. I wanted to say all the fabulous comments online. People are really supportive and enjoying the coverage, so that's awesome.
It's good. It's nice when the chat goes off the rails, though.
Sure.
It's hard to find questions when.
It gets entertaining.
Yeah, it gets there. It gets back. It gets back eventually.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Lots of good games, right?
Sure. It's sort of a whirlwind. I don't even remember what I saw this morning.
I know. There's just
I think that's part of the problem. Yeah.
But I think you're getting dice, so something different.
Yes.
Oh, I better go.
Hey, John. Real quick question.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a lot of math in Adapt. How well does it play with younger players?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm actually really glad you asked. So our player mat is reversible.
Okay.
So the other side is specifically designed for gaming with kids.
Wow. It's almost as if somebody seeded that question in the chat.
Thanks, whoever seeded that question in the chat. I love you and I'm very grateful. Yeah, the game, all of our games that I make, I'm a family man, so I'm supporting my family with it. My boy's only 2, but I want to be able to play games with him as soon as I can. So all of the games that we make for adults, and we make an entirely second rule set that's core game, but pared down to simplicity. So it cuts the math in half, cuts the difficulty in half, cuts the special abilities in half, so kids can play as early as 7.
Awesome.
5 if they've been gaming since the beginning.
John, thank you
Thanks.
very much.
Yeah,
we
thank
need
you
to
very
switch
much.
over to our other stream, so please
Understood.
follow us there. We'll go dark
Thanks.
for just a few minutes, flip some switches, and we'll see you in just a bit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, man. You bet.